There is an emotion that stops miracles. It slows the current of blessings. It shuts the door to money, love, and opportunity, and most people feel it every single day without even knowing it. You might have felt it this morning. That tiny moment of tightness in your chest when you thought about your bills. That sigh of doubt when you looked at your dreams and whispered, "Maybe it's not meant for me." That hidden fear, the one you never say out loud, but carry like a weight inside your heart. Beloved, that emotion is not anger. It is not jealousy. It is fear. The quiet, invisible kind that dresses itself as worry, overthinking, or control. Fear is faith turned upside down. It is believing more in loss than in divine supply. It is trusting struggle more than grace. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Faith never fights, it knows." And that is the difference between the soul that attracts abundance and the soul that blocks it. The one who knows rests. The one who fears resists. Every time you feel fear, the flow pauses. Every time you trust, it begins again. Because fear says, "I am alone." But faith whispers, "I am guided." And today, I will show you how to stop letting fear block your flow, and how to turn that same emotion into the magnet that draws everything you've ever prayed for. Everything in your life moves according to energy. Every thought, every word, every emotion sends a current through the invisible, and that current either opens or closes the flow of abundance. Emotion is energy in motion. It is not just a feeling. It is the power that communicates with the universe. When you feel joy, the current of life moves freely. When you feel gratitude, heaven rushes toward you. But when you feel fear, the current tightens, the light dims. The stream of blessings slows down, not because spirit has stopped loving you, but because your vibration has stopped allowing. Fear is not the absence of faith. It is faith in the wrong direction. It is faith in failure, faith in loss, faith in limitation. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Man must stop fearing and begin to have faith." That is the key. Because every time you fear, you are praying backward. You are affirming the very thing you do not want. And the universe, so faithful, so obedient to your vibration, begins to mirror it back. Say this now: I release fear and I welcome peace. Again, I release fear and I welcome peace. One more time, I release fear and I welcome peace. Beloved, the universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to the emotion behind them. If you speak prosperity but feel panic, the message is confusion. But if you speak peace and feel peace, your energy becomes magnetic. Your words become law. When you feel fear, you constrict. You close your heart, you tighten your energy, and abundance cannot breathe through you. You start to overthink, to plan, to control, trying to make life move faster by effort, when the only true movement comes from faith. Think of electricity. The current can only move through a clear wire. If the wire is tangled, the energy weakens. Fear is that tangle. It twists your energy into knots of doubt and worry. Faith untangles it. Gratitude strengthens it. Peace completes the circuit. Say this now: my peace keeps the current of abundance flowing. Again, my peace keeps the current of abundance flowing. You are never punished for feeling fear. You are only invited to rise above it. Fear is simply a signal, a reminder that you have forgotten your connection to divine source. And the moment you remember, the fear dissolves, because love and fear cannot live in the same place. Florence said, "Man can only receive what he feels is his by divine right." If you feel fear, you are telling the universe, "This blessing might not be mine." If you feel peace, you are saying, "It already is." And the universe, ever faithful, agrees with whichever emotion speaks louder. Beloved, emotion is creative power. It is the invisible hand that molds your visible world. If you could see your energy, you would see it changing color with every feeling you choose. Fear makes it heavy and dull. Faith makes it golden and light. Gratitude makes it radiant and magnetic. The universe reads this energy the way an artist reads light. It paints your life with the colors you emit. That is why your emotional state is sacred. It is not just personal, it is creative. Say this now: my emotions create miracles when aligned with love. Again, my emotions create miracles when aligned with love. You cannot manifest abundance from an emotion of lack. You cannot attract peace from a state of panic. You cannot call in joy from a heart filled with fear. You must become what you wish to receive. When you feel peace, you invite peace. When you feel wealth, you attract wealth. When you feel trust, the doors of supply open. Fear may knock, but faith answers the door. Fear may whisper, but peace speaks louder, and peace always wins. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear. That means the moment fear leaves, your highest good appears. The money you prayed for, the opportunity you longed for, the idea you needed. All of it is waiting just beyond that emotional barrier called fear. So now, choose differently. Choose to no longer feed fear with your focus. Do not analyze it, argue with it, or justify it. Simply replace it. When fear says, "What if it doesn't work?" you say, "What if it already has?" When fear says, "You might fail," you say, "I am divinely guided, and I cannot fail." When fear says, "You don't have enough," you say, "The supply of spirit is unlimited, and it is flowing to me now. I say this now. I trust the invisible law of abundance." Again, I trust the invisible law of abundance. Every time you choose peace over panic, you build new spiritual momentum. You start to feel lighter. You begin to see synchronicities, the small miracles that prove the law is working, because peace is the permission slip the universe has been waiting for. Money, success, opportunities, they are not far away. They are simply waiting for your emotion to match their vibration. When you calm your energy, you become a match for miracles. Fear blocks abundance. Peace unlocks it, and you have the power to choose peace right now. Say this one final time. I am calm. I am centered. I am a clear channel for abundance. I am calm. I am centered. I am a clear channel for abundance. I am calm. I am centered. I am a clear channel for abundance. Now, the current begins to move again. Gently, gracefully, perfectly. Because when your emotions align with peace, the universe responds with provision. And what once felt delayed will start to appear. Right on time, under grace, in perfect ways. Fear does not always look like panic. Sometimes it dresses itself as responsibility. Sometimes it hides beneath perfectionism, overthinking, or constant planning. Sometimes it even pretends to be wisdom. But deep inside, it is still fear. When you feel the need to control everything, to know every step, to fix every detail, to manage every outcome, it is fear wearing the mask of order. It whispers, "If I don't do it, it won't happen." It tells you that your worth depends on your effort, your safety depends on your schedule, and your success depends on your control. But beloved, control is not peace. It is fear disguised as strength. It is the soul's attempt to replace divine timing with human timing. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Faith never fights, it knows. Faith does not demand answers. It trusts the unseen process. Faith does not chase, it allows. Faith does not manipulate, it magnetizes." When you try to control everything, you are saying to the universe, "I don't trust that you know what you're doing." And the law of life always responds to belief. If you believe you must do everything yourself, the universe will step back and let you. Not out of punishment, but out of respect for your free will. But when you finally surrender, when you say, "Spirit, I trust you more than I trust my fear," everything begins to move in your favor. Say this now. I release control and choose trust. Again, I release control and choose trust. The need to control is born from the illusion of separation, the false belief that you are alone, unsupported, and unloved. When you forget your connection to infinite spirit, you feel you must force what would otherwise flow. But when you remember that you are one with divine supply, you realize there is nothing to force, only something to allow. You are not meant to push life. You are meant to move with life. The river does not ask the current where it is going. It flows because it knows the ocean is waiting. The flower does not rush to bloom. It opens because the sun is constant. The universe is never late because it does not operate in fear. It operates in divine rhythm. Florence said, "There is no delay in divine mind." That means everything you desire is already in progress, already unfolding, already being prepared for you. The only thing that delays it is your need to control how and when. Say this now. I trust the timing of my abundance. Again, I trust the timing of my abundance. The control is the ego's way of feeling safe. But safety built on fear is not real safety. It is resistance. You do not need to manage every detail of your miracle. You only need to hold the vision and trust that Spirit knows the perfect path to deliver it. When you surrender control, you create space for the divine to act. And the moment you stop gripping so tightly, things begin to move. People show up. Doors open. Ideas appear. Opportunities flow that your mind could never have planned. You see, the universe cannot pour into hands that are clenched, but open hands receive with ease. When you open your energy, you become a vessel instead of a barrier. Say this now: I open my hands and let abundance flow. Again, I open my hands and let abundance flow. A fear disguised as control often shows up in small ways. Checking your bank account over and over, doubting every step, trying to make everything happen faster. But true faith is stillness. It is trusting that the same God who made the sun rise will also make your blessing arrive. Right on time, without delay, without mistake. Florence said, "You must act as if you have already received." That means walk calmly, speak confidently, rest peacefully, as if the miracle were already complete. Because in the spiritual realm, it is. It's only waiting for your energy to agree. When you feel tempted to take control again, pause and breathe. Ask yourself, am I acting from peace or from panic? If it is peace, proceed. If it is panic, pause. The difference between peace and panic determines whether you are creating from faith or from fear. Say this now: peace is my power. Stillness is my strength. Again, peace is my power. Stillness is my strength. A control feels heavy because it carries fear's weight. Trust feels light because it carries heaven's wind. When you control, you contract. When you trust, you expand. Expansion attracts abundance. Contraction repels it. It's a law of vibration. What you hold tightly cannot flow freely. Beloved, you are not meant to hold the steering wheel of the universe. You are meant to hold faith and let Spirit steer. Every time you let go, you rise higher. Every time you rest, the invisible forces go to work. Every time you say, I allow, something unseen begins to align in your favor. Florence said, man's word is his wand. So use your word to release fear and claim freedom. Say this now: I allow divine order to arrange my prosperity. Again, I allow divine order to arrange my prosperity. One more time: I allow divine order to arrange my prosperity. From this day forward, stop trying to make the ocean flow. It already does. Stop trying to make blessings come. They already are. Stop trying to manage miracles. They manage themselves under grace. The moment you release control, you make room for the miraculous. You become a partner with divine intelligence instead of its rival. And life, relieved, begins to flow again. Easily, safely, abundantly. Every emotion carries energy, and every energy can be transformed. You are not a victim of how you feel. You are the master of it. The same emotion that blocks you can be the one that builds you, once you learn how to transform it. Florence Scovel Shinn said, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him sooner or later with astounding accuracy. So if your thoughts are fear, they return as struggle. If your thoughts are peace, they return as prosperity. But remember this divine secret: every fear, when faced with faith, turns into fuel. Fear itself has no power. It only borrows the energy you give it. When you take that energy back and redirect it toward love, gratitude, and faith, you turn darkness into light. The alchemy of the spirit begins the moment you decide that your emotions will serve you, not stop you. Say this now: my emotions now serve my abundance. Again, my emotions now serve my abundance. When fear rises, see it not as failure but as feedback. It is simply your soul telling you, you are focusing away from trust. And in that moment, you have a choice: to sink deeper into fear or to lift it into faith. Beloved, you do not erase fear by ignoring it. You transform it by loving it. You speak to it the way Florence spoke to every challenge, with authority, yet with peace. She never fought fear, she corrected it. She would say, there is no power in evil. There is no reality in fear. Only God and good are real. And with that word, she would shift the energy instantly. Fear can become faith the moment you tell it what to become. Emotion is obedient. It will follow your command. If you say, I am afraid, fear grows. If you say, I choose faith, fear dissolves. That is the power of spiritual decree. Say this now. I choose faith over fear. Again, I choose faith over fear. One more time. I choose faith over fear. When you transform emotion, you also transform vibration. Your energy rises to a higher frequency, one that matches the rhythm of miracles. Because faith is the highest vibration of all. It is the energy that opens doors, moves mountains, and multiplies money. The secret, beloved, is not to be fearless, but to be faithful. To be so filled with trust that fear has no space left to live. You cannot eliminate darkness by fighting it. You eliminate it by turning on the light. And your light is the power of the spoken word, backed by belief. Florence said, words and thoughts are a form of dynamite and should be handled carefully. So when emotion feels heavy, use your word to lift it. When your heart says, I am worried, speak this truth. Divine order is at work. I am safe and supplied. When your mind says, it's too late, speak this. In divine mind, nothing is delayed. Everything unfolds in perfect time. When you feel guilt or shame for wanting more, declare, I am worthy of every good thing by divine right. Each time you speak faith into fear, you rewrite the energy of your life. Fear is not the end of your power. It is the beginning of your mastery. Say this now. I turn every fearful thought into faith-filled power. Again. I turn every fearful thought into faith-filled power. This transformation is what Florence called the great reversal. It is when the energy that once resisted you begins to assist you. When every emotion, every circumstance, every memory becomes an instrument of your growth. Even your worry can work for you once you teach it to trust. The moment you shift from, what if it fails, to, what if it works, you flip the entire vibration. The universe responds immediately to that flip. Because vibration is instantaneous, the outer world lags behind, but energy changes the moment you decide. Florence said, man's word sets in motion forces seen and unseen that eventually return to him multiplied. That means when you affirm peace, peace will come multiplied. When you affirm wealth, wealth will come multiplied. When you affirm trust, trust will come multiplied. Beloved, fear cannot destroy you. It can only distract you. And every time you bring your attention back to love, you reclaim your power. This is emotional mastery. Not to suppress your feelings, but to guide them toward truth. When you feel fear, take a breath and bless it. Say, thank you for reminding me where I forgot my faith. Then breathe again and speak peace into that place. This simple act transforms your emotional field. It reprograms your energy to see fear as a teacher, not an enemy. Say this now, I bless every emotion with love, and it turns to light. Again, I bless every emotion with love, and it turns to light. When you bless your emotions, they bless you back. Fear turns into intuition. Sadness turns into compassion. Anger turns into clarity. Worry turns into wisdom. Every emotion becomes holy when touched by love. You were never meant to fight yourself. You were meant to guide yourself, gently, consciously, divinely. And when your emotions obey faith, your outer world obeys too. Florence said, your word is your wand, so wave it with love. Every time you say, I am calm, the atmosphere shifts. Every time you say, I am safe, the energy aligns. Every time you say, I am abundant, supply begins to move. You are not waiting for peace. Peace is waiting for you. You are not chasing joy. Joy is already in you. You are not earning abundance. Abundance is responding to your energy. Say this now, my emotions are the servants of my spirit. Again, my emotions are the servants of my spirit. One more time, my emotions are the servants of my spirit. Beloved, you are not broken. You are powerful beyond measure, and the proof of your power is not the absence of emotion. It is the ability to transform emotion into light. That is mastery. That is the art of divine living. Every emotion you feel today is a choice, point fear or faith, worry or wonder, resistance or release. Choose faith, choose wonder, choose release, and watch how life begins to shift instantly. Because every time you turn fear into faith, you open a new doorway of abundance. And the universe, ever faithful, ever loving, rushes through that door to meet you. Say this now and let it seal this truth within you. I am the master of my emotions. My emotions now serve my abundance. I am peace. I am power. I am faith in motion. And it is done. There comes a time, beloved, when words must rest and the soul must learn the sacred power of stillness. For in the silence, God speaks. In the quiet, the law begins to work. And in the peace that surpasses understanding, your abundance starts to flow. You have prayed. You have affirmed. You have spoken words of faith. But now, Spirit whispers, be still and know that I am God. A Florence Scovel Shinn said. The Chinese have a proverb. The philosopher leaves no trace of his path. Man must be still and know that the power of God is working in him and through him. This means you do not need to push your blessing forward. You only need to stop pushing against it. The flow of abundance is like a river. When you stir the waters with worry, they become muddy. But when you allow them to settle, everything becomes clear again. Say this now. I find power in my stillness. Again, I find power in my stillness. Stillness is not doing nothing. Stillness is doing everything, in spirit. It is the moment when you stop trying to create and start allowing creation to meet you. The universe cannot deliver peace to a restless heart. It can only mirror the energy you carry. If your energy is frantic, life feels delayed. If your energy is calm, life unfolds with grace. The door to miracles opens not through effort, but through surrender. You are not waiting for abundance to arrive. Abundance is waiting for you to become calm enough to receive it. Spirit cannot enter where fear is screaming. It enters where peace is listening. Florence said, be undisturbed by appearances and conditions. That means when the world looks chaotic, you stay centered in truth. When bills come, you stay in gratitude. When delay appears, you stay in faith. Because the appearance of lack is only a shadow, the reality of abundance is unshakable. Say this now, I am calm in the face of delay. My peace proves my faith. Again, I am calm in the face of delay. My peace proves my faith. Every moment of stillness is a declaration of trust. It says to the universe, I believe in divine timing. I do not need to rush what is already mine. And that belief becomes magnetic. Because peace is not passive, it is creative. It is the frequency that aligns you with your answered prayer. Imagine a lake on a clear day, the water so still, it mirrors the sky perfectly. That is how your soul must become. When you are still, the universe can finally reflect your desires without distortion. It hears your vibration clearly. It knows exactly what to bring. But when you are restless, the surface ripples, your energy sends mixed signals, and the flow hesitates. The calmer you become, the clearer your manifestation. The quieter you become, the louder your supply responds. Florence said, all that you require is already on your pathway. Be still and see the salvation of the Lord. That means everything you need is already in motion. You only need to get quiet enough to see it appear. Say this now. Everything I desire is already moving toward me. Again, everything I desire is already moving toward me. Stillness is healing because it restores your vibration to harmony. It releases resistance. It untangles the energy of worry. It reminds your nervous system that you are safe in divine hands. When you sit in stillness, breathe deeply, and speak softly to your spirit, you are doing the most powerful act in the universe, aligning with peace. And peace is the birthplace of miracles. Beloved, you do not manifest from chaos. You manifest from clarity. And clarity comes only when the waters of your mind are calm. That is why Florence called prayer a spiritual wireless. The signal must be steady for the message to go through. Stillness is that steady signal. Say this now. My calmness is my communication with the divine. Again, my calmness is my communication with the divine. You do not need to shout your desires. Whisper them with certainty. You do not need to rush your blessings. Welcome them with grace. You do not need to prove your worth. Your stillness already proves your faith. The world teaches you to hustle. Heaven teaches you to harmonize. The world says, push harder. Heaven says, be still. The world fears time running out. Heaven says, divine timing is never late. When you are still, the universe knows what to do. It rearranges circumstances. inspires people, shifts opportunities, and aligns details you could never manage. All without your struggle, all under grace. Florence said, "When man can control his words, he can control any situation. And what are words but sound? Stillness is the sound of mastery. It says, I no longer chase, I attract. I no longer beg, I bless." So take a moment now, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel peace rise in you like the tide returning to the shore. You are being filled again, with light, with confidence, with calm. You are remembering who you are, a soul connected to infinite supply. Say this now. Peace is my proof that God is at work. Again. Peace is my proof that God is at work. When you master stillness, you become untouchable by fear. Because you no longer need to see progress to know it's happening. You no longer need to feel control to feel safe. You rest in divine rhythm, and divine rhythm never fails. Every miracle you seek is born in stillness. Every solution you crave rises in silence. Every supply you desire flows from peace. Stillness is not waiting, it is receiving. And the moment you sit in peace, heaven stands ready to deliver. Florence said, faith knows it has already received. So the calm heart is not hoping, it is knowing. It does not chase, it expects. It does not demand, it allows. Say this now, I allow miracles through my calm. Again, I allow miracles through my calm. And so it is. Every breath you take in peace is a prayer. Every quiet moment is an open channel, and every act of stillness is a silent command that says to the universe, I am ready to receive. Now, beloved, it is time to seal this truth in your heart. You have heard the message. You have remembered the law. You have seen how fear hides behind emotion, how control pretends to be safety, and how stillness opens the floodgates of abundance. Now, you will claim it with your word, your will, and your unwavering faith. Florence Scovel Shinn said, your word is your wand. So today, let your words move the unseen world. Let them rearrange everything that once seemed blocked, and let peace flow like a river through your life. Take a deep breath and say softly, I am safe now. Again, I am safe now. Because that is where all wealth begins, in safety. When you feel safe, you open the door to receive. When you feel safe, you stop chasing and start attracting. When you feel safe, you step into the flow of divine order. Fear cannot live where peace resides. Worry cannot stay where faith abides. And lack cannot survive in a heart that knows its supply comes from God. You have learned that emotion is power, not punishment. You have learned that control is fear in disguise. You have learned that stillness is not weakness. It is the language of heaven. And now, with every breath you take, you are becoming a vessel of peace so magnetic that abundance cannot resist you. Say this now. I am the calm through which miracles flow. Again, I am the calm through which miracles flow. Florence said, faith never fights, it knows. So know now. Know that the universe has already heard your prayer. Know that what you have asked for has already been given in spirit. Know that everything that seemed delayed is only being delivered in perfect divine order. You no longer have to ask, when. You only have to say, now. For the law of supply works instantly when you are aligned with faith. Say this now. It is happening now. Under grace, in perfect ways. Again, it is happening now. Under grace, in perfect ways. Beloved, release every memory that ever taught you to fear money. Release every belief that ever told you you must suffer to succeed. Release every thought that says, I must control or I will lose. You have nothing to lose, only peace to gain, because all that belongs to you by divine right can never be taken, delayed, or destroyed. You are not here to chase what is already yours. You are here to align with it, through peace. You are not here to force the universe. You are here to cooperate with its perfect flow. So let your word become your resting place. Let your affirmation become your atmosphere. Say this now. I am in perfect harmony with divine supply. My emotions serve my abundance. My faith multiplies my good. Breathe deeply and feel the energy shifting around you. The air becomes lighter. The tension leaves your shoulders. Your heart opens like a flower receiving morning light. This is what allowing feels like. The art of no longer fighting your blessings. Florence said, there is a supply for every demand. So if there is a desire in your heart, there is a matching supply already waiting in spirit. You do not need to earn it. You only need to receive it. And you receive by faith, through peace, in gratitude. Say this now. What I desire is already mine, in divine mind. Again. What I desire is already mine, in divine mind. Every time you feel fear, remember, it is not a sign of failure, but an invitation to trust again. You are not falling behind. You are simply being guided back to faith. Every breath you take in calmness tells heaven, I am ready, and heaven always responds. The law of abundance does not work through panic. It works through peace. The universe is a mirror, and it will reflect whatever you feel most often. So make peace your daily vibration, and prosperity must appear. Say this now. My peace is my proof of wealth. Again, my peace is my proof of wealth. When you are calm, you are commanding. When you are peaceful, you are powerful. When you are grateful, you are magnetic, because faith is not a shout. It is a vibration. It speaks softly but moves mountains. Florence said, gratitude is the law of increase, and complaint is the law of decrease. So even now, thank God for the abundance unseen. Thank God for the blessings already forming. Thank God for the money opportunities and miracles already on their way. Say this now. Thank you, Spirit, that money flows to me freely, easily, and under grace. Again, thank you, Spirit, that money flows to me freely, easily, and under grace. Feel that gratitude like sunlight in your heart. That warmth is your proof. That peace is your power. That calm is your currency. You are not waiting for abundance. Abundance is waiting for your peace. You are not asking for blessings. Blessings are asking for your trust. You are not chasing wealth. Wealth is chasing your calm. So rest, breathe, and allow yourself to be blessed. Say this now. I rest in divine flow. I rest in abundance. I rest in faith. And now, beloved, here is your final decree. Speak it aloud with authority as Florence willed. I am the vessel of divine peace and supply. I am calm. I am confident. I am cared for. I release fear forever. I trust the divine law of abundance now at work. All that belongs to me by divine right comes to me now, under grace, in perfect ways. And say it again. I am the vessel of divine peace and supply. I am calm. I am confident. I am cared for. I release fear forever. I trust the divine law of abundance now at work. All that belongs to me by divine right comes to me now, under grace, in perfect ways. And one final time, this time not as a request, but as a command to the universe. I am the vessel of divine peace and supply. I am calm. I am confident. I am cared for. I release fear forever. I trust the divine law of abundance now at work. All that belongs to me by divine right comes to me now, under grace, in perfect ways. Now it is done. The decree is sealed. The energy is released. The fear is dissolved, and peace reigns. You have unlocked the door to abundance. Not by striving, not by chasing, but by remembering that peace is the proof of faith, and faith is the password to heaven's supply. And from this moment forward, may your calmness attract every good thing your heart desires, under grace, in perfect, miraculous ways.
The spoken word is a seed, and the subconscious mind is fertile soil. As we drift into the quiet rhythm of sleep, the conscious guard softens, and the infinite mind becomes open to suggestion, ready to receive the good prepared for it. Just as a farmer casts seed into the earth, knowing the harvest shall come, so too can we cast words of prosperity into the silence of night, and watch abundance unfold with effortless ease. Money is not a thing to be chased, it is a vibration, a current of divine supply, ever flowing, ever available. The universe is lavish, overflowing with riches beyond measure. Gold, silver, opportunities, ideas, and right connections are simply different forms of the one inexhaustible substance. When the mind is attuned to this substance, riches seek the dreamer, just as rivers find their way to the sea. To become a magnet for money is not to strive, but to align. A magnet does not struggle to draw iron. It simply is. Its nature does the work. In the same way, when the soul is saturated with thoughts of abundance, wealth moves toward it naturally, quietly, and surely. The law of attraction is not a theory, it is law, unchanging, precise, impartial. To hold in thought poverty, fear, or lack is to magnetize poverty, fear, and lack. But to hold in thought wealth, joy, and freedom is to draw these treasures from the unseen into the seen. The night hours are holy hours, when the soul communes with the infinite. In sleep, the restless chatter of worry is hushed, and the subconscious may be patterned with new images of plenty. To lie down with words of prosperity upon the mind is to plant gardens of wealth within. Just as surely as spring follows winter, these gardens will bear fruit in waking life. Fruit of money, fruit of opportunity, fruit of satisfaction and security. Declare to the sleeping self, I am a money magnet. Reaches of every kind are drawn to me. The wealth of the universe is mine to receive. Repeat it, feel it, believe it, and let the subconscious accept it as truth. For the subconscious does not argue, it simply takes the word and multiplies it. The dreamer who sleeps in faith awakens in abundance. Every dollar in circulation is an idea in divine mind, and ideas are without limit. There is no shortage of money, only a shortage of belief. To program the mind for abundance is to step into the river of supply, where money flows like water, endlessly renewed. In sleep, the gates of limitation are closed, and the gates of plenty are opened wide. Therefore, let us release all striving, all doubt, all fear of not enough. Let us fall asleep in wealth consciousness, knowing that money is our servant, not our master, and that divine supply rushes to meet every need, every dream, every holy desire. The spoken word sows seeds of abundance in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and this truth is as eternal as the law of cause and effect. Words are not idle sounds drifting into the void, they are creative forces, carriers of power, shaping unseen energies into visible form. When a person speaks, whether aloud or silently in thought, the universe listens and responds. Words plant themselves deep in the subconscious, where they grow roots and branches, where they bear fruit in the experiences of life. To understand this is to understand that every utterance is a seed, and every harvest, whether of lack or plenty, sorrow or joy, is the natural outworking of the seeds sown in mind. The subconscious is soil, infinitely receptive, incapable of rejecting what is planted within it. It does not discriminate between truth or falsehood, wealth or poverty, strength or weakness. It simply receives, absorbs, and brings forth after its kind. If one plants seeds of fear, saying, I never have enough, or money is hard to come by, the soil accepts them and produces lack, struggle, and limitation. If one plants seeds of faith, declaring, I live in a universe of endless supply, or wealth is drawn to me with ease, the soil just as willingly accepts those words and brings forth prosperity, opportunities, and unexpected channels of provision. The spoken word is the sower, and the subconscious is the ground that cannot help but yield to it. Many believe that money, success, or opportunities are governed by chance, but chance is only the name given to harvests grown unconsciously. Every person is a farmer, and life is the field. The careless word is like a weed seed, and it springs up swiftly, choking out the good. How often do people speak idly of misfortune, debt, or limitation, not realizing they are summoning these very things? The subconscious hears no jest, takes no sarcasm, overlooks no idle remark to say in passing, I can't afford that, or I'm always broke, is to speak commands into the soil, commands that the subconscious must obey. Words spoken lightly are still seeds, and seeds planted will grow. To guard the lips, therefore, is to guard the future. Every declaration of abundance is a seed of wealth. Every declaration of poverty is a seed of lack. The wise one chooses words carefully, just as the skilled gardener selects seeds with intention. No farmer would cast thorns into the ground and expect a harvest of wheat. Yet many cast words of want into the soil of their mind and wonder why wealth eludes them. The spoken word is law to the subconscious, and law cannot be broken. At night, when the body grows still and the conscious mind releases its grip, the seeds sown through the day sink deeper into the soil. They work silently, invisibly, pressing toward manifestation. Just as the earth conceals the seed until the first tender shoots emerge, so the subconscious conceals its work until the harvest of words becomes visible in circumstances. Days, weeks, or months may pass, but the harvest comes. A careless word spoken in despair may blossom into a lost opportunity. A word of faith spoken with conviction may blossom into a sudden promotion or a stream of money arriving by mysterious channels. This truth brings both warning and promise. It warns for every thoughtless complaint, every murmur of lack. Every repetition of, "I can't," or, "It's impossible," is a seed destined to bear fruit. It promises for every affirmation of plenty, every word of thanksgiving, every declaration of, "I am provided for," is likewise a seed destined to ripen into supply. The soil of the subconscious does not resist, it obeys. The soil of the subconscious does not argue, it produces. What is spoken is what is sown, and what is sown must be reaped. One may say, "But I have spoken words of abundance and seen no result." The answer lies in persistence and belief. A seed does not sprout the moment it touches soil. It must be watered, nurtured, and given time. If doubt follows immediately after the word, it is as though the gardener uproots the seed before it takes hold. To speak wealth in the morning and fear in the evening is to plant and uproot. Plant and uproot, leaving the soil barren. Consistency is the key. The spoken word must be repeated until it imprints itself deeply in the subconscious, until the soil grips it so firmly that no contrary thought can tear it out. Imagination is the water to the seed of the word. To speak, "I am a magnet for money," while feeling anxiety is to plant a seed in dry ground. But to speak, "I am a magnet for money," and then picture streams of wealth flowing in, to feel the joy of receiving, to rest in the certainty of provision, that is to water the seed until it germinates. The subconscious responds to words most powerfully when they are charged with emotion and vivid imagery. The spoken word is the seed. Imagination the rain, faith the sunlight, and persistence the tending hand of the gardener. With these, the harvest is inevitable. Words of abundance carry a vibration that attracts after their kind. The universe is filled with an infinite substance, invisible yet ever present, and words are the mold into which this substance pours itself. To say, "I am rich in every good thing," is to carve a channel for riches to flow. To say, "I never have enough," is to carve a channel for lack to continue. Substance must obey the form given it by words, for words are creative decrees. The soil of the subconscious and the substance of the universe are partners in creation, awaiting instruction from the spoken word. This power is not reserved for the learned, the wealthy, or the few, it belongs to all. A child who repeats words of plenty with joy and belief will summon abundance, as surely as a scholar who has studied the laws of mind. The principle is universal, impartial, precise. Words are the starting point of every fortune, the root of every prosperity, the invisible cause behind visible wealth. Those who master their words master their world. The spoken word sows seeds of abundance in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and the harvest of life is nothing more than the blossoming of these seeds into form. Every fortune begins with a phrase, every success with a declaration, every prosperity with an affirmation planted deep within the receptive ground of mind. To speak with intention is to sow with intention, and the field of life can yield nothing other than the crop of words planted within it. Money is a vibration, not a pursuit, and flows to those aligned with its current. Just as a radio must be tuned to the correct frequency to receive the desired broadcast, so the human mind must be attuned to the vibration of abundance in order to receive the flow of wealth. Many chase after money with restless effort, believing it to be outside themselves, a thing to be hunted, captured, and clung to. Yet money, like music, is not created by the receiver. It is already present, already vibrating, already circulating in infinite supply. The task is not to chase, but to tune in, not to grasp, but to align. The vibration of money is the vibration of supply, of circulation, of endless giving and receiving. When one is in harmony with this vibration, money comes as naturally as air fills the lungs or rivers find their way to the ocean. When one is out of harmony, no amount of striving can secure lasting wealth, for the vibration repels what the mind denies. To fear money is to push it away. To resent money is to block its flow. To envy wealth in others is to declare oneself unworthy of it. But to bless money, to love the idea of supply, to see wealth as natural and good, is to call it forth into one's own experience. Alignment is not achieved through strain, but through belief. The inner conviction that money is good, that money is abundant, that money is flowing, sets the whole being on the frequency of prosperity. Just as a tuning fork struck at one end of a room causes another tuning fork of the same pitch to vibrate at the other, so does a mind vibrating with abundance call forth abundance from the unseen realm into the visible. The vibration of money answers the vibration of thought. What is within attracts what is without, and the outer life is but a mirror of the inner frequency. Those who chase money with worry often find themselves exhausted, for worry is a vibration of lack, and lack cannot attract supply. It is like running upstream against a current that was meant to carry one forward with ease. The harder they row, the further they seem from shore. Those who relax into faith, who hold thoughts of plenty, find themselves carried effortlessly by the current of wealth. They do not chase, they receive. They do not strain, they allow. For money is a vibration, and the one who aligns with it becomes a natural magnet, drawing riches without toil. This is why gratitude is such a powerful force. Gratitude is the vibration of having, the declaration that supply already exists and is already sufficient. To give thanks for money, whether great or small, is to tune the mind to the frequency of more. To complain about money, whether in want or in plenty, is to tune the mind to the frequency of less. The universe responds to vibration, not words alone, and gratitude infuses the word with the frequency of wealth. One may say, "I am rich," 1,000 times, but if the inner feeling is one of poverty, the vibration of poverty prevails. Yet one who whispers, "Thank you," with genuine joy for even the smallest coin carries a vibration of wealth that draws riches from every corner of the unseen. Money is movement, a symbol of circulation. It flows like blood in the body, like air in the lungs, like tides upon the shore. To hoard it in fear is to stop the current, and stagnation invites decay. To release it in trust is to keep the current alive, and circulation ensures return. Those who clutch at money with fear vibrate at the level of scarcity, and find that what they cling to slips away. Those who release with joy vibrate at the level of abundance, and find that what they give returns multiplied. The vibration of money demands flow. An alignment is achieved when giving and receiving are equally embraced as natural expressions of supply. The vibration of money is not only material but also mental. Ideas are currency, imagination is wealth, inspiration is a form of riches. To be aligned with the vibration of money is to open the mind to fresh ideas, to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to receive guidance and intuition that lead to prosperity. Wealth does not always arrive as coins or notes. Often it arrives first as a thought, a vision, a hunch, a door slightly ajar. Those attuned to the vibration of money recognize these signs and act upon them, turning unseen wealth into seen wealth. Those out of tune dismiss them, blind to the treasures that pass before their very eyes. Fear of money, disdain for money, or the belief that money is evil, lowers the vibration and creates resistance. Many long for wealth yet secretly despise it, declaring it corrupt or unspiritual. Such contradiction blocks the flow, for the vibration of desire is cancelled by the vibration of disdain. To align with the current of money is to see it for what it truly is, a tool, a servant, a symbol of divine supply. In the hands of the aligned, it builds, blesses, heals, uplifts, and multiplies good. The vibration of money is neutral, like electricity. It simply amplifies the vibration of the one who wields it. Those who love money rightly, as an expression of infinite abundance, draw it without guilt, without struggle, without fear. The vibration of money is harmony with life itself, for life is abundance. Nature does not hoard its blossoms, but scatters them freely. The ocean does not ration its waves, but pours them endlessly. The sun does not measure its light, but shines without ceasing. To attune oneself to money is to attune oneself to this same lavish principle of the universe. Scarcity is a man-made illusion. Abundance is the eternal reality. Those who believe in scarcity vibrate with it and experience it. Those who believe in abundance vibrate with it and receive it. Belief sets the tone sets the vibration, and vibration calls forth experience. Money responds to joy, for joy is a high vibration. To work in drudgery, fearing the loss of money, keeps one in the vibration of struggle. To work in joy, delighting in the circulation of wealth, sets one in harmony with prosperity. Joy opens doors, joy dissolves obstacles. Joy attracts opportunities. The vibration of joy is kin to the vibration of money, for both are expansive, free-flowing, life-giving. A cheerful giver and a cheerful receiver alike are tuned to the current of supply. Money, then, is never outside oneself. Never a thing to be pursued down barren roads. It is a vibration already present, already flowing, already waiting to be received. To align with it is to rise in thought, to shift in feeling, to speak words that affirm abundance, to give thanks for what is, and to expect more. Alignment is the effortless posture of faith, the restful awareness that supply is everywhere, within and without, and that the vibration of wealth answers the vibration of mind. When the mind sings the song of abundance, money dances toward it, keeping time with the rhythm of thought. A magnet does not strive. It attracts by nature, so does the mind saturated with wealth consciousness. The magnet does not labor to draw the iron filings near, nor does it plead with them to come closer. Its very being exerts a silent force, an unseen pull, that brings to it exactly what belongs to it. In the same way, the individual who lives and breathes wealth consciousness does not need to chase after money or opportunities, for the vibration of their thought creates an irresistible field. Riches come as if summoned, doors open as if by unseen hands, and what others strive for endlessly arrives with ease. To saturate the mind with wealth consciousness is to immerse it in the truth of abundance, until every thought is colored with plenty. It is to believe so completely in supply that lack cannot find a foothold. Just as a sponge absorbs water until it drips with fullness, so the mind, soaked in affirmations of prosperity, overflows with vibrations that attract wealth from all directions. The individual who carries such consciousness is like a living magnet, radiating signals that money, ideas, and resources cannot resist. Striving belongs to the consciousness of lack. When a person believes wealth is scarce, far away, or difficult, they strain and struggle to reach it, exhausting themselves in pursuit of what seems always out of grasp. Their very striving broadcasts a signal of need, and need repels supply. The law of attraction does not respond to desperate chasing, it responds to calm certainty. The magnet does not move toward the iron moves toward the magnet. Likewise, wealth moves toward the individual who is inwardly at rest in the knowledge of abundance. The mind that is saturated with wealth consciousness dwells not on debts, bills, or insufficiency, but on the endless flow of supply. It sees opportunities where others see barriers. It speaks words of increase rather than words of decline. It expects good, and expectation is a form of silent prayer. Just as a magnet draws filings unseen until the pattern appears before the eyes, so the wealth-conscious mind draws opportunities and money until the evidence becomes visible in daily life. The unseen precedes the seen, and thought precedes form. When one understands this, effort takes on a new meaning. Action is still required, but it is not frantic, exhausting, or fear-driven. It is inspired action, flowing naturally from the wealth vibration within. A person saturated with wealth consciousness feels nudges, receives ideas, and meets circumstances that lead them effortlessly into prosperity. What others call coincidence is in truth the magnetic law at work. The right people appear at the right moment, the right opportunity is revealed, and the way forward is lit step by step. This law is impartial. The magnet does not decide which filings it shall draw, it attracts all within its field by the nature of its force. So too does wealth consciousness attract wealth without favoritism. It matters not the background, the education, or the history of the one who holds it. The law of attraction responds only to vibration. A pauper who saturates their mind with wealth consciousness becomes a magnet for prosperity, while a wealthy person filled with fear of loss becomes a magnet for poverty. The outer condition shifts to match the inner saturation. To saturate the mind is to make wealth thoughts habitual, automatic, and dominant. Occasional affirmations cannot accomplish this, just as a single drop of water cannot soak a sponge. Repetition, immersion, and continual focus are the tools by which the mind is trained. To rise each morning with words of abundance, to retire each night with visions of prosperity, to bless every coin that passes through the hands. These acts drip abundance into the subconscious until it is fully soaked. Once the saturation is complete, the attraction is effortless and constant. For the subconscious governs the outer life more powerfully than fleeting conscious thoughts. Consider the difference between the one who lives in worry and the one who lives in assurance. The worrier, even while working hard, radiates doubt, and doubt pushes away supply. The assured, even while at rest, radiates confidence, and confidence calls wealth near. Striving belongs to the worrier. Magnetism belongs to the assured. The magnet is silent, invisible in effort, yet powerful in result. So is the wealth-conscious mind. Money itself is sensitive to vibration. It flows toward joy, ease, and certainty, and flees from fear, resentment, or guilt. Those who despise wealth, or believe it corrupt, repel it unconsciously, no matter how much they outwardly seek it. Those who honor wealth as a tool of good, who see it as an expression of divine abundance, create a field of welcome into which money eagerly flows. The magnet attracts what it does not resist, and the wealth-conscious mind attracts wealth when all inner resistance is dissolved. Saturation requires discipline of thought. The world is filled with voices of lack, news of scarcity, tales of debt, warnings of downturn. To listen continually is to saturate the mind with fear, which creates the opposite magnetism. To withdraw attention from lack and direct it steadily toward abundance is the task of the one who seeks wealth consciousness. What the mind consumes daily becomes the vibration it emits, and what it emits is what it attracts. Imagination is the great ally in this process. To picture oneself already prosperous, to feel the joy of supply, to rehearse in the inner world the life of abundance, is to drench the subconscious with wealth images. These images become the mold into which reality pours. The magnet does not create the filings. It only arranges them according to its pattern. The wealth-conscious mind does not create money out of nothing. It arranges circumstances, people, and opportunities according to its vibration. Imagination sets the pattern and reality conforms. Even in small things, the principle reveals itself. To look at a single coin and see it as a symbol of endless supply is to charge that coin with magnetic power. To receive payment and bless it with gratitude is to increase its vibration. To spend joyfully, knowing circulation ensures return, is to keep the magnetic field strong. Every thought, every word, every feeling is either strengthening or weakening the magnet of the mind. By conscious choice, the magnet grows stronger until nothing can resist its pull. The magnet does not tire of attracting, nor does it doubt its power. Its nature is attraction, and it exerts it without effort. So too can the mind, once saturated with wealth consciousness, live in continual attraction. To dwell in assurance, to feel the truth of abundance, to think wealth until it becomes the very air one breathes, is to turn oneself into a living magnet, around whom prosperity gathers without resistance and without fail. Night hours are holy, where the subconscious receives and multiplies words of prosperity. When the body is at rest and the conscious mind drifts into silence, the deeper mind awakens to its great work. The subconscious, unguarded by doubt and free from the noise of daily thought, becomes like rich soil waiting for seed. Every word spoken before sleep, every image held in the mind as the eyelids close, drops into this soil and begins to germinate. The night is not a time of emptiness, but a time of unseen activity, where thoughts transform into patterns, and patterns prepare to manifest in waking life. During the day, the conscious mind argues, questions, resists. It hears an affirmation of prosperity and whispers back, but the bills are unpaid. It hears a declaration of wealth and insists, but my bank account is empty. At night, however, this resistance loosens. The guard falls asleep, and the subconscious accepts what is given without protest. If a person falls asleep rehearsing worries, those worries are magnified in the deep mind and replayed as restless dreams, eventually seeding lack into waking circumstances. But if a person falls asleep with words of abundance, gratitude, and prosperity, the subconscious multiplies them as a gardener multiplies seeds in the earth. The holy hours of night amplify what is sown, and the harvest appears in due season. The ancient wisdom of sleep lies in its power to cleanse and renew, not only the body but the soul. Just as the body repairs itself in slumber, the inner world repairs itself too. Every affirmation spoken before sleep is a command issued to the unseen self. To say, I am surrounded by wealth, I am prosperous in all ways, I am open to receive divine supply, is to instruct the subconscious to make these truths real. The subconscious does not judge or question. It simply creates from what it is given. It is the faithful servant of the spoken word, and at night it works without interference. Night carries a sacred stillness. The world grows quiet, distractions fade, and the soul becomes receptive. In this stillness, words of prosperity gain special power, for they are not competing with the clamor of noise or the weight of business. They sink deeper, resonate longer, and imprint themselves more firmly on the inner fabric of being. A single declaration made in faith before sleep can hold more power than hours of striving during the day, for it is planted in silence, nurtured by rest, and multiplied by the creative forces of the subconscious. The subconscious is always at work, day and night. But at night its activity becomes particularly potent. Dreams, impressions, and subtle images are the language through which it speaks. A person who saturates the mind with prosperity before bed may find themselves dreaming of wealth, of opportunities, of open doors. These dreams are not random. They are the subconscious rehearsing the reality it is preparing to deliver. The dream world mirrors the seeds that have been planted, and when these seeds are planted in prosperity, the waking world begins to reflect abundance. Nighttime is also the hour of surrender. In sleep, control is released and surrender is total. This surrender allows the subconscious to take over completely. Struggle ceases, effort ceases, and in this ceasing lies great power. Prosperity is never the fruit of strain, it is the fruit of alignment. The night provides the perfect state for alignment. For the conscious mind no longer resists with doubts and fears. To go to sleep in faith is to let the subconscious take over as the master gardener, cultivating prosperity without interruption. Words of prosperity spoken before bed are like keys that open hidden doors. They reach into the depths where childhood beliefs, old fears, and ancient patterns lie dormant, and they begin to reshape them. A person who has long believed in struggle may begin to dissolve that belief by affirming abundance at night. Slowly, the subconscious releases old impressions and replaces them with new ones. The holy hours are hours of transformation, when the deepest roots of thought can be pulled and replanted. The night multiplies, always multiplies. Whatever seed is sown expands. Negative words, anxious thoughts, resentful feelings. These too multiply if carried into sleep. They grow into restless dreams, into feelings of heaviness upon waking, into patterns of difficulty that play out through the day. Yet the law is impartial. If wealth is sown, wealth multiplies. If joy is sown, joy multiplies. If gratitude is sown, gratitude multiplies. The subconscious takes what is given and produces it in abundance, regardless of whether the seed was wanted or unwanted. This is why the hours before sleep are sacred. They determine the harvest of the day to come. Children understand this naturally. A child lulled to sleep with words of love, encouragement, and security grows in confidence and joy. A child put to bed with fear or harshness absorbs those vibrations instead. Adults are no different. The subconscious remains impressionable throughout life, and the night remains the open gate through which impressions enter. To treat the night with reverence is to treat the subconscious with reverence. To speak prosperity at night is to honor the divine law of multiplication. Wealth consciousness deepens in sleep when it is fed before sleep. To visualize abundance, to affirm prosperity, to feel gratitude for supply. And then to surrender into slumber is to saturate the subconscious with abundance. The subconscious then works tirelessly, arranging circumstances, guiding choices, nudging opportunities into place. Outwardly, nothing seems to be happening during the night, but inwardly, forces are moving, aligning, creating, just as seeds germinate unseen in the soil before they sprout into the light. So words of prosperity germinate in the night hours before they manifest in waking life. Night hours are holy because they are creative hours. The conscious mind sleeps, but the subconscious does not. It takes its instructions seriously, and it follows them faithfully. Every affirmation of abundance spoken with conviction before bed is a command to the subconscious to create abundance. Every visualization of wealth is a blueprint it begins to construct. Every feeling of gratitude is fuel for its work. The night is not idle. It is a workshop of creation, where invisible blueprints are drawn and invisible seeds are nurtured. The wise make use of this workshop. They do not let the night pass filled with complaints, worries, or resentment, for they know these would multiply into more of the same. Instead, they sanctify the night with words of increase. They fall asleep whispering truths of prosperity, feeling the presence of supply, rejoicing in the abundance already theirs. They treat the night as sacred ground, planting in it only that which they desire to reap. The subconscious multiplies faithfully, and the harvest comes. Sometimes swiftly, sometimes slowly, but always surely, for night hours are holy, where the subconscious receives and multiplies words of prosperity. The subconscious accepts what is impressed upon it, and brings forth riches without resistance. It does not argue, it does not debate. It does not question whether a thing is possible or impossible. It only takes what it is given and sets it into motion, weaving the invisible threads that shape the tapestry of outer life. Just as fertile earth does not inquire whether the seed is good or bad, but simply nurtures it until it grows, the subconscious does not distinguish between poverty thoughts and prosperity thoughts, fear or faith, lack or plenty. It multiplies whatever seed is planted, and the harvest comes in kind. To understand this is to understand the secret of creation. The conscious mind is the sower, and the subconscious is the soil. Whatever the conscious mind impresses, through repeated words, vivid images, and deep feelings, drops down into the subconscious, where it takes root and begins to shape conditions. If the conscious mind impresses fear, worry, and expectation of loss, the subconscious accepts it and brings about circumstances that match. If the conscious mind impresses faith, gratitude, and the certainty of abundance, the subconscious accepts it and manifests wealth and opportunity. It is impartial, faithful, and obedient to whatever is given. There are those who live in continual struggle, not knowing that they themselves are feeding their subconscious with the very patterns that bind them. They speak of lack all day, saying, "I can't afford this. I never have enough. Money slips through my fingers." And these words, repeated often enough, impress themselves deeply upon the inner mind. The subconscious, receiving these words as commands, brings forth lack, shortage, and debt. Yet they wonder why prosperity evades them, not realizing they are harvesting exactly what they have planted. The law cannot fail, it can only reflect. On the other hand, those who learn to guard their words and direct their thoughts are like wise farmers who plant only good seed. They declare, "I am always supplied. Money comes to me from many channels. I am prospered in all my ways." And these affirmations, spoken with conviction and repeated with consistency, sink into the subconscious. The subconscious, ever receptive, brings them to pass, arranging circumstances, guiding ideas, and drawing resources. What seems like coincidence to the outer eye is simply the law of the subconscious unfolding. The subconscious brings forth riches without resistance, because it has no power to resist. Resistance belongs to the conscious mind, which argues, analyzes, doubts, and fears. The subconscious only accepts and creates. It is like clay in the hands of the potter, taking whatever form is pressed upon it. It is like a mirror, reflecting whatever is held before it. It is like a servant, carrying out orders without question. This is why the impressions given must be chosen with care, for the subconscious is always listening, always receiving, always creating. Emotion deepens impression. A casual thought may pass through the mind without sinking into the subconscious, but a thought charged with feeling sinks deep. To worry with fear is to impress fear deeply, and the subconscious multiplies it. To affirm with joy is to impress prosperity deeply, and the subconscious multiplies it. The intensity of the feeling is like the depth of the planting. Shallow seeds bring weak crops, deep seeds bring abundant harvests. This is why gratitude, joy, and certainty are powerful tools for impressing prosperity. They plant the seeds of wealth so deeply that nothing can uproot them. Repetition also secures impression. A single statement may be quickly forgotten, but words and thoughts repeated again and again carve grooves in the subconscious. Just as water flowing continually over stone wears a channel, repeated affirmations wear channels in the subconscious until they become pathways for manifestation. The subconscious thrives on repetition. What is spoken often, it takes as truth. What is imagined often, it accepts as real. What is felt often, it multiplies without hesitation. Visualization is another way of impressing the subconscious. To see in the mind's eye the life of abundance, to picture wealth flowing freely, to imagine the joy of receiving, is to impress these images upon the inner mind. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagined and actual. It only knows the impressions given. When the image is clear and repeated, the subconscious sets about to create circumstances that match. The invisible picture becomes the visible reality. The subconscious is tireless in its work. While the conscious mind grows weary and rests, the subconscious continues without pause. During sleep, it processes impressions and works to bring them into form. It does not delay, it does not resist, it does not stop. It simply unfolds what it has been given, in perfect order and timing. This is why the hours before sleep are powerful, for the last impressions of the day sink deep and are carried through the night, magnified and multiplied. Riches, then, are not limited to money alone, but include health, joy, relationships, opportunities, and peace of mind. The subconscious can be impressed in any direction. If it is impressed with lack of health, it manifests disease. If impressed with vitality, it manifests strength. If impressed with loneliness, it manifests isolation. If impressed with love, it manifests companionship. The law is exact, impartial, and unfailing. Whatever is impressed, it expresses. Some believe that willpower alone creates results, but willpower often fades, and the conscious effort of will is filled with resistance. True creation flows not from will but from impression. Once the subconscious has been impressed, the results come naturally, without strain, without struggle. It works silently, invisibly, and irresistibly, bringing about the outer reflection of the inner belief. The river flows where the channel is dug, and the subconscious is the one that digs the channel according to the pattern given it. The subconscious accepts words most easily when they are spoken with authority and finality. To say, "I am prosperous," with conviction impresses the idea far more than to say it half-heartedly. To say, "Wealth flows to me," as though announcing a fact, impresses the subconscious as truth. The subconscious responds to the tone of certainty, for certainty carries the vibration of reality. Doubt weakens the impression, but faith strengthens it. The more unwavering the declaration, the more powerful the imprint on the subconscious. It is not necessary to understand how the subconscious works in order for it to bring forth riches, just as it is not necessary to understand how a seed grows in order to reap a harvest. It is only necessary to plant, to water, to nurture, and to trust the process. The subconscious has its own intelligence, its own ways of arranging circumstances, its own mysterious methods of bringing supply. The visible mind cannot always see the path, but the invisible mind knows the way. The subconscious accepts what is impressed upon it and brings forth riches without resistance, faithfully, tirelessly, without judgment, without delay. It is the hidden engine of prosperity, the silent architect of circumstances, the unseen gardener who tends the seeds planted by thought, word, and feeling. Whatever is sown is reaped, and the soil is always ready, always fertile, always responsive to the impressions it is given. There is no shortage of money, only a shortage of belief in infinite supply. The universe is a boundless storehouse, overflowing with wealth in countless forms, waiting to be claimed by those who believe. Gold, silver, paper currency, digital figures on screens, these are but symbols of the one substance that fills all space. Ideas, opportunities, inventions, connections, and inspiration are forms of the same infinite supply. Lack is not in the universe itself, for the earth produces without ceasing. Rivers flow without pause, stars shine without dimming, and life renews itself endlessly. Lack exists only in the mind that closes its eyes to abundance and chooses to dwell in limitation. The illusion of shortage arises when people mistake appearances for truth. A bank account may appear small, a wallet may seem empty. A bill may arrive demanding more than one thinks they possess, but these are only surface shadows. Beneath them lies the truth of inexhaustible supply. Just as clouds may obscure the sun without extinguishing its light, so temporary appearances of lack cannot touch the reality of infinite wealth. Those who believe in shortage empower the illusion and give it strength, while those who believe in abundance pierce through appearances and draw forth new channels of supply. Belief is the key that unlocks the storehouse. To believe in shortage is to lock the door, to believe in abundance is to open it wide. The subconscious mind responds to belief as law, creating conditions to match the inner conviction. If a person continually affirms, "There is not enough," the subconscious accepts it and manifests lack accordingly. If a person affirms, "I live in a universe of infinite supply," the subconscious accepts it and arranges channels for supply to flow. Belief is the magnet, drawing to itself whatever it holds as true. The world is filled with examples of this law at work. Some grow rich in times of economic downturn because they believe in opportunity where others see only loss. Some remain poor in times of prosperity because they believe scarcity hides behind every gain. The difference is not in circumstance but in consciousness. Those who believe in infinite supply see opportunities in every direction, and those opportunities multiply. Those who believe in shortage see closed doors at every turn, and those doors remain closed. The universe reflects belief with impartial accuracy. Nature itself testifies to abundance. A single tree produces thousands of seeds, more than enough to cover the earth in forests. A field of wheat multiplies from a handful of grains into a harvest that feeds nations. The ocean sends wave after wave without end, and the sun rises faithfully every morning, pouring out light without rationing its rays. To walk through nature is to walk through a living parable of infinite supply. The only shortage is the human refusal to believe in what is plainly revealed. Fear is the great thief of supply. Fear whispers, "There is not enough," and the mind accepts this lie as truth. Fear clutches, hoards, withholds, and resists circulation, cutting off the very flow it dreads to lose. Yet money, like blood, like air, like water, is meant to circulate. When it is held too tightly, it stagnates. When it is released with faith, it returns multiplied. Fear creates shortage because it trains the mind to see lack, to expect lack, to prepare for lack, and what is expected must be fulfilled. Faith creates abundance because it trains the mind to see supply, to expect supply, to prepare for supply, and what is prepared for must arrive. The belief in shortage has been taught through generations, passed down as a false inheritance. Children are told, "Money doesn't grow on trees. Life is hard. You must struggle to get ahead." These statements, repeated often, sink into the subconscious and create a worldview of limitation. Yet they are illusions, for money itself comes from trees in the form of paper, and life itself flows with effortless abundance when aligned with divine law. To break the cycle of inherited scarcity, one must plant new beliefs. Money flows freely to me. I live in ease and abundance. I am supported by infinite supply. These new seeds uproot the old and create a new harvest. There is no shortage in the substance of the universe, only shortage in human imagination. Every invention once seemed impossible until belief opened the way. Every fortune once seemed unattainable until someone believed it could be created. The airplane was born from belief in the possibility of flight, electricity from belief in harnessing invisible power, great empires of wealth from belief in unseen opportunities. The substance for these things always existed, belief merely called them into form. The same substance remains, waiting to be shaped by belief today. Those who truly believe in infinite supply never envy the wealth of others, for they know there is enough for all. Envy is born of the illusion of shortage, the thought that another's gain must be one's loss. But in a universe of abundance, another's gain proves what is possible and opens the way for more. To bless the wealth of others is to affirm one's own wealth, for what is acknowledged in another is multiplied within oneself. To strengthen belief in abundance, one must continually train the mind to see it everywhere. To give thanks for small coins as readily as for great sums, to rejoice in every sign of prosperity, to recognize the lavishness of nature, to notice the endless circulation of wealth in the world. These acts build conviction in infinite supply. Each acknowledgement is a reminder that lack is only an illusion, that abundance is the truth, and that belief aligns the self with that truth. There is no shortage of money, only a shortage of belief in infinite supply. The rivers of wealth never run dry. Only the channels of belief become blocked. When the channel is opened by faith, gratitude, and expectancy, the flow returns, swift and unceasing. The universe does not withhold, it only mirrors. What the mind believes, it receives. What the heart expects, it attracts. What the soul affirms, it becomes. Infinite supply surrounds and fills all things, and belief is the bridge that allows it to flow into visible experience. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to awaken in abundance made manifest. The night is a passageway where thought sinks deep into the fertile soil of the subconscious, and what is planted there blooms in the light of day. When the last impressions before slumber are words and visions of prosperity, the inner mind receives them as truth and sets about to create circumstances that mirror them. Sleep becomes a workshop of creation, where the seeds of wealth are nurtured in silence and multiplied without resistance. Wealth consciousness is not merely a passing thought of money, but a deep saturation of the mind with the idea of endless supply. It is the conviction that the universe is generous, that opportunities are limitless, that money flows freely and abundantly. To fall asleep holding such thoughts is to let them sink into the subconscious without interruption, for during sleep the conscious guard is lowered, doubts are hushed, and resistance fades. The subconscious accepts the thought of prosperity as fact, and fact it becomes in the fabric of life. The hours before sleep are sacred, for they determine the night's labor of the subconscious. One who lies down rehearsing worries, counting debts, or fearing tomorrow impresses the subconscious with patterns of lack. These patterns grow through the night and rise, as difficulties in the morning. One who lies down declaring, "I am a magnet for money, I am richly supplied. My life overflows with abundance," impresses the subconscious with patterns of wealth. These patterns grow in the night and rise as opportunities, solutions, and blessings in the day. Sleep magnifies whatever is sound, and the harvest is sure. When the mind falls asleep in wealth consciousness, the dream world often reflects images of plenty. These dreams are not idle fancies, but the subconscious rehearsing and shaping the realities it prepares to manifest. A person may dream of receiving gifts, discovering treasure, or walking through fields of gold. These are signs that the inner mind has accepted the impression of abundance and is weaving it into the tapestry of experience. Even if no dreams are remembered, the subconscious remains at work, arranging circumstances, nudging ideas, and guiding unseen currents that lead to prosperity. Wealth consciousness before sleep is like a compass set toward abundance. Throughout the night, the subconscious aligns itself with that direction, adjusting attitudes, dissolving fears, and planting new convictions. Upon waking, the individual feels lighter, more certain, more receptive to good. They may not know why doors open or why the right person crosses their path, but the alignment created during the night makes it inevitable. Sleep in wealth consciousness, and waking life becomes a field of opportunities. There is a rhythm to creation, impression, incubation, and expression. Sleep belongs to the second stage, where impressions incubate in the quiet of the subconscious. Just as a seed rests unseen in the earth before breaking forth into the visible plant, so the thought of abundance rests in the subconscious during the night before manifesting in visible prosperity. To sleep in worry is to incubate weeds. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to incubate harvests of gold. The process is as sure as the law of seasons. Gratitude is a powerful companion to wealth consciousness at night. To review the day and give thanks for every sign of supply, no matter how small, sets the subconscious vibrating with the frequency of abundance. Gratitude declares that wealth already exists, and the subconscious multiplies what it believes exists. A person who goes to sleep rejoicing in every provision, food, shelter, kindness, opportunities, trains the inner mind to see and create more of the same. Gratitude is the fragrance that sweetens the seed of prosperity planted before sleep. Visualization deepens the impression. To picture oneself surrounded by wealth, to imagine walking through a home of beauty, to see money flowing in through unexpected channels, impresses the subconscious with vivid images. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined, it accepts both as truth. When these images are rehearsed as the body relaxes into sleep, they take root with great force. The subconscious then works to replicate them in waking life, shaping conditions, arranging events, and guiding choices until the picture becomes reality. Many have experienced the power of sleeping in wealth consciousness without naming it. They fall asleep with a problem unsolved, only to awaken with the solution clear in mind. They go to bed feeling expectant, only to find opportunities waiting the next day. This is the subconscious at work, aligning with the impressions given at night. What is impressed becomes expressed, and sleep is the bridge between the two. Wealth consciousness also removes fear during the night. Many wake in the dark hours burdened with anxiety about bills, debts, or future needs. But one who has filled their mind with abundance before bed drifts into sleep with peace, knowing they are supplied. That peace itself is a vibration that attracts wealth. Fear repels, but peace attracts. To sleep in peace is to declare trust in infinite supply. And trust is answered with provision. The practice of sleeping in wealth consciousness transforms even the smallest details of life. A person may find unexpected refunds, surprise gifts, opportunities for income, or new ideas that generate prosperity. These outward results are only the surface ripples of the deep inner current set in motion during the night. The subconscious, once impressed with wealth, works tirelessly to bring wealth into form. It knows no obstacle, for it does not reason in terms of impossibility. It only fulfills what it has been given as truth. Consistency strengthens the practice. To fall asleep once in wealth consciousness may bring a single result, but to fall asleep nightly in this state creates an unbroken chain of impressions. The subconscious, saturated with abundance, becomes fixed in wealth consciousness, and prosperity flows continually. Just as a garden watered daily flourishes, the mind watered nightly with thoughts of abundance flourishes with prosperity. The more consistent the practice, the richer the harvest. The one who sleeps in wealth consciousness becomes a magnet for abundance in every form. They attract money, but also health, joy, peace, love, and opportunity, for wealth is more than currency, it is the fullness of life in all directions. The subconscious, once aligned with wealth, draws to itself everything that corresponds to abundance. People appear, ideas unfold, doors open, and circumstances align. The world bends to the vibration of the wealth, conscious sleeper, and waking life reveals what was impressed in the night. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to plant seeds of prosperity in the deepest soil of the mind, seeds that cannot help but sprout into the visible world. It is to use the night as a sacred workshop, where thoughts of plenty are multiplied in silence. It is to rest in faith, knowing the subconscious is a faithful servant, always creating from the impressions it is given. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to awaken in abundance made manifest, for the night shapes the day, and the unseen shapes the scene. There are words that carry weight beyond the human mind, words that unlock doors to treasures unseen and rivers of abundance that flow without end. The command of the tongue, once aligned with the infinite, becomes a golden key. The universe listens not to struggle, not to fear, not to doubt, but to the clear decree of one who knows their oneness with the source of supply. When a command is spoken in faith, it does not wander into the void. It takes root, it crystallizes, it clothes itself in form, and it returns as substance. Money, wealth, and prosperity are not strangers to us. They are ideas of the divine, pure and perfect, waiting for a channel through which to flow. When the command is spoken with authority, the invisible becomes visible, and the storehouses of heaven pour out their riches without measure. To force huge money instantly is not to wrestle nor to beg, nor to plead. It is to stand in the knowing that all good already exists in the unseen, and that the spoken word is the bridge that brings it into your hand. Every vibration in this world obeys the law. Just as the seed knows how to push through the soil, just as the tide knows how to return to the shore, so does money know how to find its rightful owner when called by name. The command you speak is the magnet, and the magnet never fails to draw its match. Many live as though they are powerless, waiting on chance, waiting on luck. Yet the truth is that luck is simply law in action through the words you dare to speak. When you say the command with certainty, every force of the unseen aligns. Opportunities, people, and doors rearrange themselves to obey the decree. The spoken word is clothed with divine authority. It carries the very imprint of the infinite mind. To say the command is to send forth a messenger that does not return empty but comes back bearing gifts in abundance. Huge money is not far. It is here, swirling in the ethers, ready to descend into form. The command spoken in the rhythm of faith acts as a lightning rod, pulling from the unseen into the seen with the speed of thought. And thought, when voiced, becomes law. Speak it as one who knows, not as one who hopes. Speak it as one who commands, not as one who wishes. The instant the command is released, the answer is already rushing toward you. The power lies not in effort but in alignment, not in toil but in word. For the word is law, and law is unbreakable. Say the command, and huge money obeys. Say the command, and riches rise to meet you. Say the command, and instantly the unseen treasury bursts open, pouring forth without delay, for nothing can withstand the decree of the spoken word grounded in divine truth. The spoken word is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the silent thought clothed in vibration that carries the power to build, to attract, to command, and to manifest. Words are not idle. Words are seeds planted into the fertile soil of the universe, and once spoken with authority, they set unseen forces into motion that must obey. The ancient knowing whispers that in the beginning was the Word, and it is still the Word that holds together all creation. Every sentence uttered is a decree, whether consciously chosen or carelessly released, and it carries with it the magnetic power to reproduce after its kind. To understand this is to grasp the golden key of manifestation. For once you know the spoken word is law, you realize that you hold in your mouth the very scepter of creation. Each word vibrates with energy, and energy never disappears. It transmutes, transforms, and returns multiplied. When you speak words of lack, you draw lack into your field. When you speak words of abundance, you draw abundance. The spoken word does not discriminate. It obeys the tone of faith behind it. The tongue, therefore, becomes either a tool of bondage or a tool of liberation. By careless talk one may chain themselves to cycles of limitation. Yet by deliberate decree one may rise into unlimited prosperity. This is the hidden secret so often overlooked, that the word carries weight far beyond sound, far beyond breath, for it is a vibration that imprints itself upon the ethers, and the ethers, being responsive, shape themselves around that imprint until it hardens into experience. The spoken word is more than affirmation, more than suggestion, more than empty repetition. It is the very declaration of truth that calls into being the form already prepared in the unseen. When one speaks with faith, The words move as lightning through the subconscious mind, impressing the image of what is desired, and the subconscious, being creative and without argument, sets itself to attract conditions, people, and opportunities that match the decree. The spoken word is the command seat of the soul, for the mind conceives, but it is the tongue that seals the order. The thought is like a draft, but the word is the signature that authorizes it to move into circulation. Every great shift in life has first been announced in words. A vision unspoken remains in shadow, but when the vision is voiced, it is given a body, a form, a container through which it may flow. Words are the vessels of thought, the carriers of energy, the channels of spirit into matter. This is why words spoken idly are never truly idle, for even idle words carry vibration, and vibration is always at work. To understand the sacredness of the spoken word is to become careful, not in fear but in reverence, knowing that every utterance is a decree, and decrees are honored by the law of life itself. When you speak, you are not merely communicating with others, you are communicating with the infinite field that surrounds you. Every phrase you declare is a command sent forth into this field, and it is faithfully answered. The words you speak about money, health, love, and opportunity become the blueprint around which your experience is built. If you say money is hard to come by, then money takes on the shape of difficulty in reaching you. If you say opportunities always appear for you, then opportunities will constantly present themselves. The spoken word is the magnet of conditions, shaping the material world according to its decree. There is a rhythm, a cadence, a certainty that infuses words with power. The same sentence spoken with doubt becomes empty, but spoken with authority becomes a command that the universe cannot refuse. Faith is the invisible fire that electrifies the spoken word. Without faith, words stumble and fall flat. With faith, words rise like arrows and strike directly at the target of manifestation. The mind may conceive, but the voice must release. The word unspoken is a seed left unplanted. The word spoken with conviction is a seed pressed firmly into the ground, destined to sprout. Consider how easily one can imprison themselves by careless speech. Words of fear, complaint, resentment, and defeat echo back as experiences that mirror their tone. The one who constantly says, "I cannot," "I lack," or "it never works for me," is sending forth commands that the universe must honor, for the law is impersonal and exact. But likewise, the one who speaks words of victory, abundance, and certainty is sending forth a decree that shapes reality in their favor. The power lies not in the external circumstance, but in the vibration of the spoken command, for it is the decree that bends conditions to its will. The spoken word is creative, but it is also selective. It chooses what will grow in the garden of your experience. Every time you speak, you plant, and what you plant you must harvest. This is why the wise become guardians of their lips, selecting words not as one idly scattering seeds, but as one carefully choosing the finest grain to sow in fertile soil. The spoken word is law, because it directs the unseen laws into action, and those laws, being eternal and unchanging, respond with precision. When the command is released, it is like striking a key on a piano. The note must sound, the vibration must resonate, and the effect must be produced. The tongue, then, is the instrument of destiny. It is the scepter with which you command armies of unseen forces. Every affirmation, every decree, every spoken phrase is a soldier sent forth, and these soldiers do not rest until they have returned with results. Some send out words of lack and wonder why lack returns. Others send out words of abundance and watch abundance flow. The difference lies only in the awareness of the law of the spoken word. To say, "The spoken word is law," is to declare that words are never empty. They are commands to the unseen world, orders that shape reality. The universe does not weigh whether the word is beneficial or harmful. It simply obeys. Therefore, power rests in the deliberate and conscious use of the tongue, the refusal to utter defeat, the insistence on voicing only that which aligns with truth, prosperity, and abundance. The spoken word becomes the architect, drawing lines upon the blueprint of life, and life, obedient to the design, builds accordingly. Money is not a stranger, nor a distant object to be pursued with struggle, but a divine idea, eternal in its essence, waiting patiently for recognition and command. Money exists as thought before it exists as form, and thought is the first cause of all that comes into being. In the realm of spirit, everything is already completed, finished, whole. What appears as lack in the material world is only a misalignment in consciousness, a veil drawn over the abundance that already is. To see money as a divine idea is to lift that veil, to recognize that supply is not created by toil alone, nor by effort alone, but by agreement with the law that abundance flows wherever it is welcomed. In truth, money is not pieces of paper or numbers on a screen. Those are merely symbols, shadows, reflections of the greater reality. The essence of money is circulation, flow, and movement of energy. It is the current of supply, ever present, ever circulating, never still. It exists as an infinite river, and the individual experience of money depends upon how wide or narrow one opens the gate to that river. The gate is open not by force, not by grasping, but by recognition and decree. To know that money is a divine idea is to know it cannot be scarce, for the infinite knows no limitation. Scarcity exists only in the mind that denies its connection to source. Money as a divine idea means it is free of moral weight, free of judgment, free of human labels. It is not good or bad, it is not clean or unclean. It simply is. It takes on the character of the one who holds it, just as a brush dipped in paint takes on the color it is placed in. Money amplifies. It does not create character, for character is of the soul. To resist money, to condemn it, to view it as unspiritual, is to cut off the flow of one of the Creator's channels of expression. For all that is divine is whole, and to reject any channel of supply is to reject part of the wholeness. Money is ever present and awaiting command, because it responds to consciousness. The universe is infinitely abundant, and supply is always surrounding you, ready to take shape. The delay between desire and manifestation is only the measure of your alignment with this truth. When you align with the idea that money is a divine current, you begin to see it flow in unexpected ways. Through people, through opportunities, through ideas, through channels you could never have forced into being. The moment the decree is spoken with faith, money responds. For it is not separate from the laws of creation, it is part of them. To think of money as hard to get is to deny its divine nature. To think of it as absent is to contradict its ever-present flow. The mind trained to see lack will confirm lack in every corner, while the mind attuned to abundance will recognize wealth in every detail. Money is drawn where it is respected, where it is welcomed, where it is commanded with clarity. It is not summoned by fear, for fear repels. It is not summoned by desperation, for desperation chokes the channel. It is summoned by calm authority, by the recognition that it already exists, and is simply awaiting the word that calls it forth. As a divine idea, money is inexhaustible. There is no end to the forms it can take, no ceiling on its possibilities. The wealth of the world is only a fraction of the wealth of the infinite, and new channels of money are being created constantly because ideas never stop flowing. A new invention, a new art, a new method of service. Each opens a fresh stream of wealth into the world. This is why money cannot be hoarded in essence, for its true nature is flow. To dam the river is to create stagnation, but to allow circulation is to invite increase. When money flows through you, it multiplies, for giving and receiving are two halves of the same cycle. The divine idea of money is impartial. It does not favor one over another. It flows wherever it is recognized and welcomed. The sun does not choose whom to shine upon, and money, as an aspect of divine circulation, operates in the same way. Those who align with its laws receive more, not because they are favored, but because they have opened the channel. Those who resist, deny, or curse money find themselves blocked, not because money is absent, but because the gate within themselves is closed. The universe is impartial and exact, always responding to consciousness. When you speak of money as already present, as already flowing toward you, you give it the command to reveal itself in form. To say money comes easily to me is not to wish, but to decree. The spoken word clothes the divine idea in form, and the form must then manifest. The decree does not create money out of nothing, for money already exists in abundance. What it does is arrange conditions so that the flow becomes visible in your life. The decree acts as a magnet, pulling the unseen into the seen, the invisible into the tangible. To live with the understanding that money is a divine idea transforms the entire relationship with wealth. No longer is it pursued with fear. No longer is it clutched with anxiety. No longer is it withheld with guilt. Instead, it is recognized as a natural expression of life, like breath, like sunlight, like water. It becomes normal to receive, natural to give, effortless to circulate. Money ceases to be a master or a burden, and becomes a servant of good, a channel of divine flow. The more one aligns with this truth, the more one sees money moving with ease, for the current has always been flowing, waiting only for recognition and command. Faith and certainty are the two pillars upon which instant supply rests, for without them the command is only an echo, but with them the command is a decree that the universe must obey. Faith is the invisible substance that clothes words with life, and certainty is the unwavering stance that refuses to entertain contradiction. Together they form the unseen foundation that calls forth visible abundance. To speak words without faith is to scatter seeds on stone. But to speak words with faith and certainty is to plant them in rich soil where they must sprout and multiply. The secret of instant manifestation lies not in effort, not in delay, but in the fearless confidence that what is spoken has already been completed in the unseen and is now simply revealing itself in form. Faith is not hoping, nor is it wishing, for hope implies distance and wish implies uncertainty. Faith is knowing. It is the inner sight that sees beyond appearances, the inner conviction that what is desired is already accomplished in the divine realm. When faith speaks, it does not question, it does not waver, it does not negotiate. It simply declares, and the declaration carries the stamp of authority. Certainty stands as its companion, unmoved by appearances, unmoved by delay, unmoved by doubt. Together they hold the vibration steady, and the vibration draws the supply instantly. The outer world cannot resist the authority of inner certainty. Instant supply is not a miracle in the sense of breaking law. It is the natural and immediate operation of law through the channel of unwavering belief. The universe responds to faith like a faithful servant. It hears the tone of authority and rushes to obey. The speed of manifestation is determined not by time, but by the strength of certainty. When one is divided, the flow is delayed. When one is whole, the flow is immediate. A double-minded decree lacks force, but a single-minded decree cuts through all resistance. Faith is the single eye that sees only abundance, and certainty is the hand that refuses to let go until the blessing is in hand. To activate instant supply, one must speak as though the thing were already present, as though it were already complete. Words must be clothed in conviction, not tentative, not half-hearted, but firm and commanding. The universe recognizes the difference between idle chatter and the decree of faith. The decree of faith resounds with authority, and certainty holds it until form arrives. In that holding, there is no waiting, no tension, only the calm assurance that it is already done. This assurance acts as a magnet, drawing all channels, people, and opportunities into alignment. The speed of response is not the creation of something new, but the unveiling of what already existed, now made visible through faith and certainty. The mind that doubts wavers like a reed in the wind. It speaks one thing today and another tomorrow. Such a mind scatters its energy, dissipating the power of its word. But the mind that believes with certainty concentrates its energy, focusing it into a beam that pierces through the unseen and brings results swiftly. This is why some speak endlessly without results, while others speak once with faith and see immediate supply. It is not the length of the decree, but the certainty behind it that carries weight. Faith charges the word with electricity, and certainty anchors it until the form appears. Faith sees only abundance even in the face of lack. It refuses to acknowledge appearances as final. It knows that appearances are but shadows, and shadows cannot withstand the light of truth. Certainty takes this vision and holds it steady, refusing to entertain contradiction. Together they silence the clamor of fear, and in the silence the supply flows instantly. The moment doubt is silenced, the floodgates open. The universe rushes to fill the vacuum created by certainty, for nature abhors a vacuum, and always fills it with substance. The vacuum of doubt replaced by faith creates a channel through which abundance pours without delay. To cultivate faith and certainty is to train the inner eye to see beyond the veil. It is to practice the art of declaring abundance in the face of lack, of affirming supply in the face of emptiness, of holding to truth even when the outer world insists otherwise. Every decree spoken with faith strengthens the channel, and every act of certainty deepens the groove through which supply flows. Over time, the response becomes swifter, for the universe recognizes the vibration as familiar. What once took months to manifest begins to appear instantly, for the soul has learned to command with authority. Instant supply is not magic, it is law. Law responds to faith as surely as a mirror reflects an image. If the image is clear, the reflection is instant. If the image is blurred, the reflection is delayed. Faith provides the clear image, certainty fixes it in place, and the law responds without hesitation. The spoken word, once charged with faith and certainty, does not wander. It strikes directly and returns with results. The unseen does not resist such a decree, for it is simply truth clothed in sound. The truth of abundance cannot be denied, only delayed by disbelief. Once disbelief is cast aside, supply flows as naturally as water runs downhill. Faith and certainty are not qualities reserved for a chosen few, they are powers inherent in every soul. They are cultivated through practice, through repetition, through the refusal to let appearances dictate truth. Each time one declares abundance in faith, the vibration grows stronger. Each time one holds certainty in the face of contradiction, the channel widens. Eventually, faith becomes second nature, certainty becomes a habit, and instant supply becomes the normal rhythm of life. The soul ceases to plead and begins to command, not arrogantly but in alignment with divine law. The command is not to force but to release, not to create but to reveal what already is. When faith and certainty join hands, the invisible rushes into visibility. The decree is spoken, the form appears, and the cycle continues effortlessly. There is no delay, no resistance, no struggle, only the smooth operation of law responding to authority. The supply was always present, waiting only for faith to call and certainty to anchor. In this way, abundance becomes instant, not by chance but by law, not by effort but by decree, not by waiting but by knowing. The command is a magnet drawing huge wealth. For every word spoken with conviction is a force that sets invisible currents into motion. The tongue holds the power of attraction, and the decree released into the ethers is never lost. It vibrates outward, forming patterns in the unseen, and these patterns gather substance until they appear as form. Wealth is drawn to the command as iron is drawn to the magnet, irresistibly, without effort, without struggle. The universe responds to sound, to tone, to vibration, and when the word is charged with certainty, it resounds as law. The command does not plead, it does not hope, it declares, and declaration is the language creation understands. The magnet of the word operates through alignment. Every thought carries vibration, every word amplifies that vibration, and when spoken with clarity, the command becomes irresistible. Wealth is not outside searching for a way in, it is already surrounding, already available, waiting only for the signal of attraction. The command is that signal. It announces readiness, it announces openness, it declares permission for riches to flow freely. Without the command, wealth may circle silently, unrecognized and unused, but once the decree is released, it knows exactly where to go. The word is the address, the magnet is the pull, and supply obeys. A magnet never struggles to draw iron. It does not chase, it does not plead, it simply exists in its nature, and attraction happens naturally. So it is with the spoken command. The wealth is drawn not by desperation, not by effort, but by the nature of vibration. To speak as one in authority is to establish a field so strong that wealth cannot resist. The command radiates energy, and riches respond like filings drawn to the center. The stronger the faith behind the word, the stronger the pull, until huge wealth moves as though compelled by unseen hands. Every decree is a seed planted in the soil of the infinite. The spoken word holds the magnetic force to draw to itself all that corresponds to its vibration. When you say, "I am surrounded by wealth," you call forth the evidence of wealth from the unseen. When you declare, "Money flows to me now," you set in motion a current that draws money from channels both expected and unexpected. The magnet is impartial. It does not judge the command, it simply obeys. Words of lack draw lack, words of wealth draw wealth. And the command is always fulfilled according to the tone of certainty behind it. Huge wealth does not resist the magnetic word. It responds instantly. For the vibration of abundance is ever present. The command is like striking a key that awakens a note. The note was always within the instrument, waiting to be released, and the command releases it. When spoken with unwavering faith, the decree reverberates through the ethers until riches rearrange themselves to appear. The magnet of the command does not fail, for it is grounded in the eternal law of attraction, and law cannot be broken. The magnetic nature of the command means that wealth does not arrive through strain but through alignment. Just as the compass needle always points north, reaches always move toward the spoken word that directs them. The command is the compass, pointing wealth toward its rightful owner. The clearer the command, the more direct the path. Vague words create vague results, but clear decrees draw exact fulfillment. To say, "Money comes to me in overflowing measure," is to establish a precise vibration that summons overflowing measure. The universe must respond, for vibration cannot remain unanswered. When the command is spoken, unseen forces begin their work. Ideas, people, and opportunities are magnetized and drawn into your orbit. The decree does not create wealth out of nothing, for wealth already exists in abundance. What it does is align the currents so that wealth is pulled into visibility. The magnet does not invent the filings, it simply draws them into order. In the same way, the spoken word arranges circumstances until huge wealth appears as if by miracle, though it is not miracle but law. The magnet of the command is strengthened by repetition with faith. Each time the decree is spoken, the vibration grows stronger, the field expands, and the pull intensifies. Words spoken once may draw results, but words spoken steadily, with unwavering certainty, build a magnetic force so powerful that wealth cannot help but rush in. The field created by the command becomes so charged that riches flow from every direction, often in ways beyond the limits of reason. Reason says it is impossible, but the magnet of the word does not answer to reason, it answers to law. Huge wealth is responsive, not resistant. It is eager to flow, eager to circulate, eager to serve its rightful purpose. The command opens the door wide, signaling that wealth has a place, a channel, a direction. Without command, the door remains closed. With command, the door stands open and riches stream in. The magnet does not beg for the filings to come, it exerts its natural pull, and they obey. The spoken decree is that natural pull in the realm of spirit, and it cannot be denied. Wealth is not persuaded by struggle, but it is compelled by authority. Authority is the tone of the command, the certainty that knows it must be so. When you declare with authority, the unseen bends to fulfill your words. To say, "I am wealthy now," with absolute certainty is to release a magnetic decree that pulls wealth instantly. Authority does not wait. It does not delay, it speaks as though the thing already is. The universe recognizes this tone and responds without hesitation. The command as magnet is not effort but alignment, not force but law, not struggle but certainty. Every word spoken in authority creates a pull that wealth cannot resist. The unseen responds, the current flows, and riches move as though compelled by the hand of destiny. The decree has gone forth, and the magnet of the word continues to draw until huge wealth stands revealed in tangible form. Alignment with universal law ensures instant results. For the universe is not chaotic nor accidental but orderly, precise and exact in its operations. The same intelligence that guides the planets in their orbits, that causes the seasons to shift, that brings seed to harvest, governs the flow of money, wealth, and opportunity. This law is not biased, it does not withhold, it does not delay without cause. It responds with mathematical certainty to the vibration sent forth. When a command is spoken in harmony with universal law, the response is immediate, because the law is compelled to act. The delay many experience is not the slowness of the law, but their own misalignment with it. Once alignment is achieved, results are swift, direct, and often astonishing in their clarity. To align with universal law is to step into the rhythm that governs all creation. Just as a musician must tune his instrument to the proper key, so must the individual tune their consciousness to the vibration of abundance. When the instrument is out of tune, discord arises, but when it is tuned, harmony flows effortlessly. Universal law is the great harmony of life, and alignment with it makes manifestation natural, inevitable, and certain. Struggle is the sign of discord, but ease is the sign of alignment. Instant results arise not from effort, but from harmony with the eternal laws that govern supply. Universal law states that like attracts like, that every word and thought must reproduce after its kind. This means words of abundance call forth abundance, and words of lack call forth lack. The law is impersonal, it simply mirrors the vibration sent into it. To align with it is to send forth only that which you desire returned. The one who complains of poverty yet longs for wealth is misaligned, for their vibration contradicts their desire. The one who decrees wealth while silently doubting is also misaligned, for doubt weakens the signal. But the one who speaks with faith, certainty, and joy is aligned, and the law must return to them exactly what they decree. Instant results do not come from rushing, but from removing contradiction. When thought, word, and feeling move in one direction, the law acts without delay. It is the divided vibration that delays results, not the law itself. To align is to unify, to bring all parts of self into agreement with the truth that abundance already exists and is now manifesting. Once that unity is reached, manifestation becomes instant, for the law no longer meets resistance. It flows as naturally as water down a slope, unobstructed, direct, and inevitable. Consider how the law of gravity operates. It does not hesitate, it does not waver, it does not question. Drop a stone, and it falls. Speak a command in alignment with universal law, and results appear with the same certainty. The law of supply is as exact as the law of gravity. It cannot fail, it cannot falter, it cannot be persuaded otherwise, it simply obeys. To align with it is to step into a power that never changes, never diminishes, never falters. The moment the alignment is complete, results manifest without delay, for the law is already active, waiting only for the signal of agreement. The alignment begins in consciousness. The mind must see abundance as natural, as inevitable, as ever-present. To believe money is scarce is to contradict the law, for the law is infinite. To believe opportunities are few is to misalign, for the law is overflowing. To believe wealth is reserved for some, and denied to others is to misalign, for the law is impartial. Alignment comes from seeing truth, speaking truth, and feeling truth. The truth is that supply is limitless, that abundance is natural, that wealth is a current flowing ceaselessly. The more one accepts this truth, the stronger the alignment, and the swifter the results. When aligned, the spoken word carries creative authority. It is no longer a mere wish, but a decree. Universal law does not respond to uncertainty, it responds to certainty. When you speak in alignment, the decree carries the full weight of law behind it. The universe rushes to fulfill it because the vibration is exact. There is no delay, no hesitation, no question. The law mirrors perfectly. Alignment turns the decree into a magnet that draws instant fulfillment. Alignment also means surrendering resistance. Resistance appears in the form of fear, doubt, guilt, or anxiety. These emotions are signals of misalignment, blocking the flow of supply. The law is always ready to deliver, but resistance acts like a barrier. Remove the barrier, and the flow is instant. Trust, faith, and gratitude dissolve resistance and create openness. Gratitude especially aligns instantly, for it declares that the thing is already received. Gratitude is agreement with the law, and agreement opens the channel. The moment gratitude is felt sincerely, results rush in, for the law recognizes the vibration of completion. Universal law does not delay in itself. The appearance of delay is the soul's process of moving into alignment. Some align quickly, others slowly, but the law remains constant. This is why results can appear instant when alignment is perfect, because the law does not need time to operate. Time is only the measure of alignment. The instant alignment occurs, results appear. This is the mystery of sudden manifestation. Nothing sudden has happened in the law, only in the consciousness of the one who finally aligned. To live in continual alignment is to live in continual abundance. It is to walk in harmony with the currents of life, never forcing, never striving, always allowing. Instant results become natural because the vibration is always tuned. The decree is spoken, the result appears, as naturally as cause produces effect. This is the rhythm of alignment with universal law. It is not a matter of chance, not a matter of luck, not a matter of effort, but a matter of harmony. Harmony draws supply as surely as discord repels it. When thought, word, and action align with law, the individual becomes a living magnet for wealth. Opportunities, people, ideas, and resources move toward them with uncanny speed. The outer world rearranges itself to obey the inner decree, because the decree is no longer at odds with itself. The universe is compelled to respond. This compulsion is not force but law, as natural as day following night. Instant results are nothing more than the natural outworking of perfect alignment. This is about 1020 words. Would you like me to also compile all 5 expanded keynotes into a single continuous speech style, flow, keeping the tones? Life, in all its shimmering mystery, often hides the greatest treasures in the smallest of packages. Sometimes 3 words, spoken with conviction, believed with the heart, and acted upon with faith, hold the power to transform not just days, but entire destinies. These words are not bound by the walls of circumstance, nor are they limited by the arithmetic of your current bank account. They are like a key to a vault you've never dared to open, a vault where abundance, opportunity, and success wait patiently for you to claim them. There is a law, invisible yet unshakable, that governs all things seen and unseen. Just as the tide knows when to rise and the flowers know when to bloom, the universe knows when to release the good that is yours. But the door to this flow opens only for the one who aligns thought, word, and belief. When you speak the right words, you send a command to the unseen to prepare the visible. You set a divine machinery into motion, and though you may not hear the gears turning, they turn for you nonetheless. Imagine standing before a field of unharvested gold. It is yours by divine right, but you must first recognize it. And then you must step forward to claim it. The 3 words, your 3 words, are like the claim ticket you hand over to the universe. With them, you are saying, I know who I am, I know what is mine, and I will not be denied. This is not arrogance, but spiritual certainty. It is the knowing that the river of wealth is endless, and you need only cup your hands to receive. 68 million is not a number to the universe. It is but a symbol, a shadow of the infinite. Whether it appears in dollars, opportunities, resources, or blessings beyond counting, it is all the same substance. To your higher mind, it is as easy to draw in millions as it is to draw on a single coin. The only barrier is belief. And belief is shaped by the words you choose and the vision you hold. So, the question becomes, will you speak words that build or words that break? Will you declare the truth of your abundance, or will you repeat the lie of lack? Your 3 words are not random. They must be chosen with the precision of a master builder selecting the first stones for a great cathedral. They must be spoken daily, without wavering, until your entire being hums with their vibration. Today, you are standing at the edge of a turning point. Speak your 3 words. Plant them in the fertile soil of faith. Water them with gratitude, and watch as they grow into a harvest beyond your calculations, perhaps even 68 million strong. The key is already in your hand. Now turn it. Words are more than mere sounds that pass our lips, they are carriers of energy, seed thoughts planted in the fertile soil of the unseen. Each word is a vibration, and each vibration calls forth a response from the vast field of potential around you. To say a word is not only to communicate, it is to create. When you speak, you are shaping reality in the most literal sense, sending out commands to the invisible forces that organize matter, circumstance, and opportunity. This is why some people seem to carry a mantle of success around them while others feel trapped in cycles of disappointment. They are both gardeners, but one sows seeds of abundance and the other sows seeds of lack. It is often said that life and death are in the power of the tongue. While to some this sounds like poetic exaggeration, it is in fact a spiritual law. Words spoken with conviction take root in the mind, and the mind then works like a skilled architect to manifest them in the physical realm. Think of a blueprint, lines and symbols drawn on paper that, when acted upon, result in a building. Your words are the lines and symbols of your blueprint. If you draw carelessly, the building will be crooked. If you choose your words carelessly, your life will reflect that same lack of precision. Every great change begins with a declaration. Before any invention came into being, before any fortune was amassed, before any movement transformed the world, someone spoke words that affirmed the possibility. I can. I will. It is mine. This shall be. Such statements are not merely wishful thinking, they are acts of creation. They send out a vibration that begins to attract the people, resources, and events necessary for the vision to take shape. The power lies not only in the choice of the words, but also in the faith behind them. Without belief, words are like seeds scattered on stone. With belief, they grow even in the desert. Consider for a moment the way negative speech works. Words of complaint, doubt, and fear also shape reality, only in the opposite direction. When a person continually says, I never have enough. I am always unlucky. Things never work out for me. They are casting spells over their own life. The mind receives these statements as instructions and seeks out evidence to confirm them. The outer world then obliges, offering circumstances that match the inner declaration. This is why the person who speaks often of illness seems to attract it, and the person who constantly talks about financial struggle finds themselves in it. The law is impartial. It does not distinguish between good seeds and bad seeds. It simply grows whatever is planted. To harness the power of words, one must become a vigilant guardian of speech. This does not mean policing every casual remark, but it does mean being aware of the patterns that dominate your language. The words you repeat daily become grooves in the mind, shaping your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your actions. Change the pattern of your speech, and you begin to change the pattern of your life. Speak prosperity, and you will find yourself drawn toward opportunities for wealth. Speak health, and you will notice your body responding in kind. Speak joy, and you will discover that even in challenges, your spirit remains light. Words are also amplified by emotion. A lukewarm statement has little force, but a word charged with feeling carries immense creative power. When you speak with gratitude, enthusiasm, or certainty, the energy you release is magnetic. It pulls toward you the conditions that match its vibration. This is why affirmations, when spoken mechanically, often fail to produce results, but when spoken with genuine conviction, they move mountains. The difference is the heart behind the word. The shaping power of words extends beyond the self. When you speak to others, you are influencing their reality as well. Encouragement can awaken dormant potential in another person, while criticism can stunt it. A teacher who tells a student, "You have great talent," plants a seed that may grow into mastery. A parent who says to a child, "You will never amount to anything," plants a seed of limitation that may take years to uproot. Words can open doors or close them. They can heal or harm, they can uplift or diminish. Being aware of this is not a burden but a responsibility, and a privilege. Even in silence, the words you think carry weight. The inner dialogue you maintain is like a constant whisper to the universe, and the universe is always listening. If your inner words are filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, then even if your outer speech is polished, your results will reflect the inner conversation. Transformation begins when your inner and outer words align in truth, power, and vision. To think, I am capable, and to speak, I am capable, is to align thought and word, and such alignment is a powerful magnet for corresponding results. The ancients understood the sacred nature of words. Many traditions regarded the spoken word as a direct extension of divine power. To name something was to claim authority over it. In this sense, every word you speak is a naming, a declaration of what is so. When you say, I am wealthy, you are naming wealth as part of your identity. When you say, I am struggling, you are naming struggle as part of your identity. The I am that begins your sentence is like a throne upon which you place your chosen truth, and whatever sits upon that throne will rule your life. Language is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Thoughts are the blueprint, words are the builders, and action is the laying of bricks. But without words to give structure to your vision, your ideas remain formless. This is why it is often not enough to simply think positively. You must also speak your good into existence. Speaking is an act of faith, for when you declare something not yet seen, you are affirming your trust that it exists in the unseen and will manifest in the seen. Just as a musician tunes an instrument before a performance, you must tune your words before they go out into the world. This means choosing them carefully, with awareness of their power and direction. Speak in alignment with your desired reality, not with your current conditions. The words, I am, should always be followed by something you wish to embody. The words, I have, should be followed by something you wish to receive. Speak as though your good is already yours, and you will find the world rearranging itself to reflect that truth. Belief is the invisible engine that drives every manifestation of abundance. It is not a casual preference or a passing wish, it is a deep, unshakable knowing that what you desire is already yours in essence, even before it takes form in the physical. Without belief, the finest words fall flat, and the grandest plans crumble into dust. Belief is the substance that fills the vessel of your desire, the life force that turns ideas into realities. When you believe, you are not merely hoping. You are standing in the certainty that the universe operates under laws, and one of those laws ensures that what you hold in unwavering faith will find its way to you. This belief is not built upon outer evidence. In fact, it often must be formed in the absence of evidence. Many people fall into the trap of thinking they will believe once they see the result, but the law works in reverse. You see the result because you first believed. Belief precedes manifestation in the same way that planting a seed precedes the appearance of the plant. You do not look at bare soil and declare that nothing is growing. You know that the unseen work has already begun beneath the surface. So too with your desires, you must believe they are germinating in the unseen long before they sprout into view. When it comes to abundance, belief acts like a key to a vault. The vault contains wealth, opportunity, and provision in limitless measure, but it will not open to the one who doubts. Doubt is a signal to the mind that the door should remain locked, and the mind obeys. Faith, however, is the signal to swing it wide open. This is why two people can face the same circumstances, yet one finds opportunity and the other only finds obstacles. The difference lies in belief. The believer sees beyond the surface, trusting that the unseen is arranging itself in their favor. The doubter sees only limitation and calls it reality, not realizing that reality is constantly reshaped by what they believe. Belief also determines how much you are able to receive. The universe can only fill the cup you bring, and belief shapes the size of that cup. If you believe only in small good, you will carry a thimble to the ocean of abundance, and walk away thinking that is all there was. But when you believe in unlimited good, you bring a vessel without boundaries and watch as it overflows. This is why it is not arrogance to expect much. It is simply understanding the nature of the source. The infinite cannot run out, and your belief allows you to draw from it without measure. The challenge for many is that belief must often be built in the face of appearances that seem to contradict it. If the bank account is empty, if the opportunities seem absent, if the bills are mounting, belief can feel like a fragile candle in a strong wind. Yet this is precisely when belief must be guarded most fiercely. It is easy to believe when the evidence is favorable, but true creative belief holds steady even when all appearances scream otherwise. It refuses to take outer circumstances as the final truth, knowing they are only temporary arrangements of form that can shift in an instant. One of the great secrets of belief is that it is strengthened by repetition. Just as a muscle grows stronger through use, belief grows through consistent affirmation, visualization, and gratitude. Each time you affirm that your good is already yours, you are adding another layer of strength to your faith. Each time you visualize yourself living in the reality you desire, you are training your subconscious to accept it as fact. Each time you express gratitude for blessings seen and unseen, you are reinforcing your certainty that abundance is already on its way. Over time, these practices transform belief from a fragile thought into an unshakable knowing. Belief is also contagious. When you hold strong belief in your abundance, it radiates outward and influences others. People are drawn to those who exude quiet confidence, because it inspires them to believe in greater possibilities for themselves. Opportunities are magnetized to the one who believes, for belief carries a certain energy that attracts the conditions it expects. This is why the same idea in the hands of two different people can yield vastly different results. The one who believes fully will see doors open that remain closed to the one who doubts. A lack of belief, on the other hand, acts like a dam holding back the flow of abundance. The law of abundance is always seeking to express itself, but disbelief builds walls that block the current. This disbelief may not always be obvious. It can hide in subtle thoughts of unworthiness, in the habit of preparing for disappointment, or in the fear that good fortune cannot last. The remedy is to become aware of these hidden forms of disbelief, and replace them with truths that affirm your right to abundance. Every time you replace a thought of lack with a thought of sufficiency, you chip away at the wall that blocks the flow. Belief is not blind. It is based on an understanding that the universe is orderly, that every cause produces an effect, and that your inner state is the cause of your outer experience. It does not require you to ignore reality, but rather to recognize that reality is malleable. Just as a sculptor sees the finished statue within a block of marble, belief sees the finished manifestation within the current set of circumstances. The sculptor does not doubt that the statue exists within the stone. He simply works until it is revealed. In the same way, belief keeps working, confident that the desired form already exists in the unseen and will emerge through the right channels. Your relationship with abundance is shaped entirely by what you believe about it. If you believe that money is scarce, difficult to obtain, or only for a chosen few, you will live in alignment with that belief, even in the midst of plenty. If you believe that money is plentiful, that it flows easily, and that you are worthy of receiving it, you will live in alignment with that belief, even if you begin with nothing in hand. Belief determines not only what you receive, but also how you perceive what you receive. Two people may have the same amount of wealth, yet one feels rich and the other feels poor, all because of what they believe about wealth. The beauty of belief is that it can be chosen. You are not at the mercy of the beliefs you have inherited or absorbed from others. You can examine them, question them, and replace them with beliefs that serve your highest good. This is the work of inner transformation, to shift from beliefs rooted in fear and limitation to those rooted in faith and abundance. Every time you choose a belief that affirms your infinite supply, you take a step toward living in that supply. It is a process, but each step builds upon the last, creating momentum that eventually makes abundance your natural state. The universe is responsive in nature, like a great mirror reflecting back the images, tones, and impressions you project into it. Certainty acts as the signal that tells this mirror exactly what to reflect. When your thoughts, emotions, and words stand together in unwavering conviction, you send out a frequency so clear and strong that the universe cannot help but respond in kind. Certainty is not the same as arrogance, it is the quiet, grounded knowing that the laws governing all life are as dependable as the rising and setting of the sun. Just as you do not question whether dawn will come, you do not question whether your good will arrive. You know it must, because you have aligned yourself with the principles that make it inevitable. This responsiveness is woven into the very fabric of creation. Every thought and feeling is a cause that sets an effect in motion, and certainty accelerates this process by removing resistance. Doubt acts like friction, slowing down the movement from the unseen to the seen, but certainty is a smooth, clear channel through which manifestation flows freely. When you are certain, you do not push, grasp, or plead. Instead, you operate from the place of already having, and this state draws to you people, events, and opportunities that match the energy you are radiating. The universe does not respond to half-hearted wishes or tentative requests. It responds to declarations backed by full trust in their fulfillment. This is why a small, seemingly impossible dream can manifest for the one who holds it with complete conviction, while a large, easily attainable goal can slip away from the one who doubts. The size of the desire is irrelevant. What matters is the firmness of the belief that it is already yours. Certainty is the magnetic force that calls the invisible into visibility. Consider the way nature operates. A seed does not question whether it will become a tree, it simply grows according to its design, drawing to itself the sunlight, water, and nutrients it requires. There is no hesitation in its process. Likewise, certainty places you in the natural flow of life, where your desires evolve into reality without strain. When you know with every part of your being that what you desire is inevitable, you are like that seed, growing, expanding, and reaching toward your fulfillment with perfect trust. Certainty is not built on constant checking to see if things are working. This checking is rooted in doubt and disrupts the process. Imagine planting seeds and then digging them up each day to see if they have sprouted. You would only delay or prevent their growth. In the same way, when you truly know your manifestation is coming, you do not need to keep testing for signs. You simply live as though it is already done. This living in the end, as though the result is already part of your reality, is one of the most powerful ways to signal certainty to the universe. Your state of certainty also determines the speed of manifestation. A wavering mind sends mixed messages, and the results will match this inconsistency. The universe organizes itself around clarity. When your inner state says, "This is mine," and there is no room for contradiction, the pathways for its arrival open quickly. The people you need to meet appear, the information you need surfaces, and the opportunities you require present themselves. It can seem like coincidence, but it is simply the natural response to the energy of certainty. Certainty does not ignore current circumstances, it simply refuses to be ruled by them. It acknowledges them as temporary conditions, subject to change at any moment. When faced with appearances that contradict your desire, certainty holds firm to the higher truth, rather than collapsing into fear. This steadfastness is not stubbornness. It is alignment. It is keeping your focus on the reality you choose, not the one you wish to leave behind. When you act from certainty, your decisions carry a different weight. You move forward without hesitation, speak without apology, and take inspired steps without the need for constant reassurance. This self-assured movement creates momentum, and momentum draws in even more circumstances that affirm your position. People sense this energy and respond to it, often offering their support or cooperation without fully knowing why. The universe works through these interactions, orchestrating events that bring your desired outcome closer. The absence of certainty, on the other hand, causes you to oscillate between desire and fear, hope and doubt. This back and forth confuses the creative process. You may declare abundance one day and lament lack the next, unintentionally canceling out the energy you have set in motion. The universe is not punishing you for this. It is simply responding to the dominant signal you are broadcasting. When the dominant signal is certainty, everything aligns. Certainty also has a calming effect on the mind. When you know that your good is on its way, you are not anxious, impatient, or grasping. This peace of mind is itself attractive, for it signals trust and allows you to remain open to receive. Anxiety tightens the flow. Certainty relaxes it. In this relaxed state, you are more receptive to intuition, more able to recognize opportunities, and more willing to take bold yet aligned action. It is important to understand that certainty is a state you can cultivate. You do not need to wait for it to arrive on its own. It can be developed through repeated affirmation, visualization, and the deliberate choice to act as though your desire is already fulfilled. Each time you reinforce this state, it becomes easier to hold, and eventually it becomes your default way of being. Just as muscles strengthen with consistent training, certainty strengthens with consistent practice. The universe's responsiveness to certainty is impartial. It will respond to certainty in lack as quickly as it responds to certainty in abundance. If you are certain that life is difficult, that money is scarce, or that opportunities are few, then those will be the realities mirrored back to you. This is why it is vital to ensure that your certainty is directed toward the good you wish to experience, not the limitations you fear. The law does not distinguish between constructive and destructive certainty. It simply delivers what is asked for with conviction. Certainty is also expressed in gratitude for what is already yours, even if it exists only in the unseen at the moment. Gratitude is a declaration of faith, an acknowledgement that the thing you desire is already part of your life in essence. This acknowledgement further strengthens the signal you are sending out, making it even more potent. By combining certainty with gratitude, you create an irresistible pull that draws your desire into physical form with greater speed and ease. This is why those who live in certainty often seem to experience a steady flow of good in their lives. They are not relying on chance or luck. They are simply operating in harmony with a law that responds to the clarity and firmness of their belief. They do not waste energy on wondering if something will happen. They invest their energy in preparing for it, making room for it, and aligning themselves with it as though it were already here. In this way, the universe, ever responsive, simply matches the certainty they have already chosen to embody. Wealth is not merely stacks of currency or numbers in a bank account. It is a symbol of the infinite, a visible representation of an unseen, limitless supply. Money is only one form in which this abundance can appear. Just as water can take the form of rain, a river, or a wave, yet always remains water. The essence of wealth is the same. It is energy, flow, and provision, moving through channels that change but are never exhausted. When you understand that wealth is symbolic, you are no longer bound to a single source or method for its arrival. You recognize that the true source is infinite and unconfined, and the forms it can take are without limit. Many limit themselves by believing that wealth must arrive in one particular way: a certain job, a specific business, an inheritance, or a lucky break. This narrow view treats the symbol as the source, confusing the channel with the origin. In reality, the channel is simply one of countless avenues through which the infinite can flow to you. If one path closes, another opens, for the supply itself is never diminished. When you grasp this truth, you stop clinging to particular outcomes and instead hold fast to the principle that the supply is ever present and unfailing. The infinite has no shortage, no gaps, no moments of insufficiency. Just as the ocean does not become less because a cup is dipped into it, the infinite is not reduced by the wealth you receive. In fact, the act of receiving simply affirms your place in the endless circulation of good. Lack, therefore, is not an actual condition of the infinite. It is a perception, born from the idea that the symbol is all there is. If you see only the money, and not the infinite abundance behind it, you will fear its loss. But when you know that wealth is symbolic, the fear dissolves, for you understand that the source cannot run dry. This understanding transforms your relationship with money. You no longer treat it as a scarce commodity to be hoarded in fear, but as a flowing energy to be circulated with wisdom and joy. Hoarding from fear stops the flow, circulating from trust increases it. The act of giving, whether through generosity or investment, is an acknowledgement that you live in an endless supply. You release and receive with the same ease. Knowing the essence of wealth is not diminished by its movement, but kept alive through it. Wealth as a symbol of the infinite also means that its forms are as diverse as life itself. A sudden opportunity, an unexpected gift, a favorable connection, a creative idea, or even a timely piece of information. These are all manifestations of abundance. Money is simply the most easily measured form, but to focus only on it is to miss the richness of the infinite's expression. The person who recognizes abundance in all its forms will always feel wealthy, even before money appears in large quantities. This feeling itself is magnetic, for when you feel wealthy, you naturally attract more symbols of wealth. When you see wealth as symbolic, you also stop measuring your worth by your current possessions or accounts. Your value is intrinsic and unchanging, rooted in your connection to the infinite source. No rise or fall in external circumstances can touch that. This inner security allows you to move through life without the fear or desperation that often drives people into decisions that limit them. You are free to act from inspiration rather than survival, to choose boldly, because you know that you are always backed by a limitless supply. Understanding wealth in this way requires a shift from linear thinking to expansive thinking. Linear thinking says there is a fixed amount to be divided, and if one person gains, another must lose. Expansive thinking knows that the infinite creates without subtraction, that there is more than enough for all, and that your gain does not require another's loss. This dissolves envy and competition, replacing them with collaboration and goodwill. When you see others prosper, you take it as evidence of the infinite's generosity, not as a threat to your own prosperity. The symbol of wealth, like any symbol, is neutral until you give it meaning. If you see money as a source of stress, conflict, or moral compromise, you will unconsciously repel it. If you see it as a tool, a form of energy, and an expression of abundance, you will welcome it. The symbol will take on the qualities you ascribe to it. When you regard it with gratitude, respect, and trust, it will circulate in your life with greater ease. This perspective also frees you from the fear of change. Since the form is not the source, a change in form does not mean a loss in supply. You may move from one job to another, shift from one business model to a different one, or experience a temporary dip in visible income, yet still remain connected to the infinite. Such changes are simply the rearranging of channels, the adjustment of form to better serve your growth and fulfillment. The underlying abundance remains untouched. Wealth as a symbol also teaches the importance of inner alignment. Because the outer is a reflection of the inner, the forms of wealth you experience will match your beliefs, emotions, and expectations. If you believe in struggle and scarcity, the symbols that appear will reflect that belief, even if the supply itself remains infinite. If you believe in ease, flow, and sufficiency, the symbols will match those qualities. By shifting your inner state, you naturally shift the symbols that show up in your life. Seeing wealth as a symbol of the infinite also expands the ways you receive. You become open to unexpected channels, no longer limiting yourself to the familiar routes. This openness allows the infinite to work through means you could not have planned or predicted. Opportunities can arrive suddenly, resources can appear from surprising sources, and solutions can come through people you have not yet met. The symbol will change, but the source is always the same. When you interact with wealth from this understanding, you naturally treat it with the right balance of respect and detachment. You appreciate it, manage it wisely, and use it to create value. But you do not cling to it as your sole security. Your security comes from the unchanging nature of the infinite supply. And the money or assets in your possession are simply the current form it is taking. This detachment allows you to make decisions without the paralyzing fear of loss, And this freedom in turn creates more opportunities for gain. In this way, wealth ceases to be an object of pursuit and becomes a natural companion on your path. You do not chase it, for you know it flows to you as an inevitable result of your alignment with the source. You focus on connection to the infinite, on aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with its nature, and the symbols of wealth arrange themselves accordingly. By living in the awareness that wealth is but a shadow of the infinite, you move beyond dependence on form and into the certainty of an unending supply that can take any form needed at any time. The consistent declaration is the steady drumbeat that calls your desires into form, the repeated signal that imprints your vision on the unseen and draws it into the seen. Every time you declare a truth about yourself, your life, and your abundance, you are affirming your alignment with it. Declarations are more than idle words. They are conscious choices to plant seeds in the fertile soil of the mind. Seeds that grow stronger each time they are repeated with conviction. Just as water nourishes a seed day after day until it breaks the surface, consistent declaration nourishes your belief until it manifests in physical reality. The power of consistency lies in its ability to shape the subconscious. The subconscious does not judge whether something is true or false. It accepts whatever is impressed upon it through repetition and emotion. A single declaration spoken once may stir inspiration, but without repetition, it is like a seed left dry in the soil. The subconscious mind responds to rhythm, to the steady and unwavering reinforcement of an idea until it becomes the only version of reality it knows. When you declare your abundance daily, you are not merely speaking to the air. You are speaking to the deepest part of your mind, which in turn directs your actions, perceptions, and opportunities to match your words. Consistency also signals certainty to the universe. A declaration made in passing and forgotten the next day sends a mixed message, like planting a row of seeds and then abandoning the garden. But a declaration made morning after morning, evening after evening, says, "This is not a fleeting wish. This is who I am. And this is my truth." The universe responds to this kind of clarity by organizing events to match it. Even if no visible change occurs at first, the energy of your declaration is already moving, creating shifts that will eventually become apparent. The act of consistent declaration also transforms you internally. In the beginning, the words may feel foreign, as though you are describing someone else's life. But with repetition, they begin to feel natural, familiar, even inevitable. You stop trying to believe them and simply live in them, as though they were always true. This inner shift is a sign that the declaration has taken root, and once a truth is rooted in the subconscious, it will begin to express itself in every area of your life. There is a rhythm to effective declaration. It is not rushed or mechanical but steady and intentional. Speaking your truth with focus and feeling each day creates a momentum that builds over time. The more you declare it, the more you notice opportunities that align with it, the more you take actions that support it, and the more you attract people and situations that mirror it back to you. The declaration becomes both the cause and the effect, reinforcing itself in a cycle that continually strengthens your desired reality. Consistency also dissolves the influence of old, limiting beliefs. Every person carries a mental storehouse of words spoken in the past. Words from parents, teachers, peers, or even themselves, that shaped their view of what is possible. Many of these words were repeated often enough to become ingrained, even if they were untrue. To replace them, you must introduce new words that are repeated with greater frequency and energy than the old ones. Over time, these new declarations overwrite the old programming, replacing patterns of limitation with patterns of abundance. It is important to recognize that consistent declaration works, not only because of the words themselves, but because of the state of mind they create. When you declare your abundance each day, you are putting yourself in the emotional state of having it. This state naturally influences your choices, your creativity, and your openness to receive. A declaration such as, "I live in an endless flow of wealth," is not simply an idea. It becomes a lens through which you interpret every event, and your interpretation shapes your reality. The consistency must be rooted in faith rather than in frantic effort. Declaring your abundance is not about forcing something into existence. It is about aligning yourself with the truth that it already exists in the unseen and is moving toward you. This is why the feeling behind the words is as important as the words themselves. Speaking them with joy, gratitude, and calm assurance is far more powerful than repeating them mechanically without belief. Consistent declaration also creates a sense of inevitability. Each repetition affirms that your desire is not a possibility to be doubted but a certainty to be experienced. This inevitability seeps into your posture, your tone, your decisions, and the way you carry yourself. People around you begin to sense it, and opportunities respond to it. Life seems to arrange itself in ways that match your steady proclamation, as though the world has taken you at your word. One of the strengths of consistent declaration is that it keeps your focus on what you want, rather than on what you fear or lack. The mind is always declaring something, whether consciously or unconsciously. Without deliberate practice, it may declare lack, difficulty, or limitation simply out of habit. By making your declarations intentional and consistent, you take control of this process, ensuring that the words you speak to yourself and the universe are aligned with your highest vision. Even when circumstances appear unchanged, the practice of consistent declaration builds a foundation for sudden shifts. Many transformations seem to happen overnight, but in reality, they are the result of energy and belief that have been cultivated over time. Just as a plant may show no visible growth above the soil while its roots are expanding below, your consistent declarations may be creating deep changes in the unseen that will eventually burst into visible form. Because wealth is symbolic of the infinite, your declarations can go beyond money to affirm abundance in all its forms: health, love, opportunity, creativity, freedom. By consistently speaking words that claim these forms of wealth, you are not limiting yourself to a single channel of good, but opening yourself to receive in countless ways. This openness allows the infinite to deliver in ways that may surprise and delight you, beyond anything you could have planned. Over time, consistent declaration becomes less of a practice you do and more of a way of being. Your conversations naturally reflect your abundance. Your thoughts naturally lean toward possibility, and your emotions naturally rest in gratitude. You no longer need to remind yourself to declare the good, because it has become the most natural thing to do. At this stage, your external reality mirrors your internal reality, so closely that your declarations are simply descriptions of what is already visible, yet they continue to call forth even greater good. The true strength of consistent declaration is that it aligns your inner and outer worlds. It keeps your mind focused, your emotions elevated, and your actions aligned with your desired reality. Each declaration is like a thread, and with each repetition, you weave a stronger and stronger fabric of belief that eventually becomes the garment of your life. This fabric holds its shape even when temporary challenges arise, because it has been reinforced over time through unwavering, consistent choice of words and focus. Every word we speak is a decree. It is a seed dropped into the fertile soil of the invisible. In the great game of life, spirit plays no favorites. It responds not to fear or struggle, but to command, to certainty, to word made law. When man aligns his spoken word with divine mind, mountains move, doors open, and riches pour forth. I once lived as many do, entangled in appearances, mistaking shadows for substance. Lack, limitation, and delay seemed to block every turn. But I learned a great secret. Man's only enemy is the doubt he harbors, the fear he shelters, the false belief that he must toil for his good. Divine supply is ever present, awaiting only the spoken word to call it forth. One day, in the silence of my soul, I declared, I am a multi-millionaire. Not I will be, not I hope to be, but I am. I spoke it not as fantasy, but as fact. I refused to argue with appearances. The bank account did not matter, nor did the opinions of others. I stood firm in the knowledge that there is no power but God, and God operates through my word. Every affirmation I spoke was law unto itself. There is gold dust in the air for me. My ships come in over calm seas. Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways. I did not chase wealth. I called it. I blessed it. I gave thanks for it before it arrived, and in the invisible it began to form. Opportunities arrived unannounced. Ideas burned like lamps in my mind. Divine channels opened where there once were walls, for the law does not fail. As surely as spring follows winter, what you speak with faith must manifest. I became a multi-millionaire the moment I spoke it into law, not when the figures showed in my account, but when I knew it in my soul. That knowing, that unwavering word, is the key that unlocks all treasure houses. Let this be your lesson and your liberty. Stop speaking of what you lack. Declare what you desire as already yours. Say it with the authority of one who walks with God. Wealth is not withheld, it is only uncalled. Speak it now, speak it bold, speak it as law. The universe rushes to obey. The spoken word is law and shapes reality. This is a principle as old as time, yet as misunderstood as the very breath that utters it. Words are not merely sound vibrations passing through air. They are spiritual commands that summon the unseen into form. In the hidden architecture of life, words are the blueprint. Each syllable we speak becomes a decree, an instruction to the invisible forces that govern the material world. When we speak with authority, clarity, and conviction, we set in motion the very wheels of manifestation. What most fail to understand is that every word, be it idle, casual, or deliberate, is planting seeds into the garden of the subconscious mind. And what is planted must eventually bloom, for that is the law. The subconscious, that silent builder behind the curtain, does not discriminate between truth and falsehood. It simply accepts what is repeatedly spoken and believed. If you say, "I am poor," it will fashion circumstances to match that statement. If you declare, "I am blessed," it will move heaven and earth to reflect it. You become what you affirm, because what you affirm becomes the law under which you live. In spiritual truth, we are not victims of fate but authors of reality. Our words write the script of our lives. Every affirmation, every declaration, every complaint, every praise, it all becomes law the moment it is accepted by the subconscious and echoed by the universe. The law, being impersonal and precise, simply carries out what you command. Like a faithful servant, it does not question, it does not delay, it executes. To say, "The spoken word is law," is to recognize the divine creative force behind utterance. The ancient scriptures echo this truth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That is not mere poetry. It is revelation. The Word creates. The Word is the first cause. Before anything is seen, it must be spoken. All substance begins in the realm of the unseen and is drawn forth through the Word. This is why silence can hold no power until it breaks into speech. Thought, though powerful, does not carry the same directive force until it is spoken aloud, energized by belief. When you say, "I can't afford it," you are commanding poverty. When you say, "I am always late," you are writing tardiness into your timeline. When you say, "Nothing ever works out for me," you are enshrining misfortune in the temple of your life. These are not just passing remarks. They are spells, incantations cast without awareness, yet bearing weight all the same. Every word carries frequency, and that frequency is matched by the universe without fail. Consider the difference between one who constantly says, "I am tired, I am sick, I am unlucky," and another who declares, "I am radiant, I am whole, I am divinely guided." Both individuals are speaking laws into existence. One shapes a life of limitation, the other shapes a life of unfolding good. The difference lies not in external circumstances, but in internal decree. The outer world only reflects what has already been legislated by the inner word. There is immense power in realizing that nothing external has authority over you unless you give it that authority with your word. You may face apparent facts, debt, illness, rejection. But if you speak only truth, if you speak only from the highest law, those facts begin to dissolve. Facts are mutable, truth is eternal. The truth is that divine supply knows no lack. The truth is that you are whole, prosperous, radiant, and powerful. The truth is that you are a co-creator with the infinite. And the moment you begin to speak from that truth, life rearranges itself to support it. Even casual speech must be watched with care. The tongue, though small, can stir great forces. To say, "I'm afraid I'll fail," even in jest, is to open the gate for failure to enter. To say, "I always mess things up," is to etch failure into your pattern. Words, repeated enough, become grooves in consciousness. They turn into beliefs, and beliefs turn into habits, and habits shape destiny. If you wish to know what your future holds, examine the words you speak today. They are the architects of tomorrow. Affirmations are not mere positive thinking, they are acts of creation. To say, "I am," is to speak the name of God, the I am presence within. What follows those two words is infused with power. I am strong, I am wealthy, I am free. These are not empty phrases, they are spiritual commands. When spoken with faith and feeling, they override past programming and install new laws into the subconscious. The law of attraction, the law of increase, the law of right action, all begin to operate on your behalf. But this power is neutral. It does not favor good or evil, abundance or lack. It simply obeys. Just as fire can warm a home or burn it to the ground, so too can the spoken word build a life of beauty or destroy it with carelessness. To become conscious of speech is to become conscious of power. One must be vigilant. One must learn to bridle the tongue, not in repression, but in mastery. Let every word spoken be a seed of truth, a spark of divine intention. To speak deliberately is to live deliberately. To choose words aligned with higher law is to anchor heaven on earth. It does not matter what has gone before. The past has no power once you begin to speak with authority. Say it now. I am free from all limitation. I am one with the infinite substance. I speak the word and it goes forth to fulfill its perfect work. These are not affirmations for someday. They are spiritual contracts, activated in the moment they are believed. Miracles begin not with action, but with utterance. The right word spoken at the right time can open doors no man can shut. One phrase, if uttered with faith, can dissolve years of stagnation. This is why spiritual masters speak little, but when they do, their words carry weight. They understand that the tongue is a creative force, not to be wasted. Every time you declare your good, you hammer it into form. Every time you deny lack, you loosen its grip. Every time you speak from power, you awaken that power within. Life does not happen to you. It answers you. It answers the word you speak with feeling. It reflects back what you declare as law. There is no such thing as a neutral word. All language is either building or breaking. When you say, "Things always go well for me," the universe reorders itself to support that claim. When you say, "I attract wealth with ease," channels open. When you say, "I walk in favor," people are moved to bless you, systems align to assist you. Not because the world changes, but because your law has changed. This is the forgotten magic, the alchemy of utterance. In every age, the wise have guarded this secret, that words are not descriptions but decrees. They do not describe reality, they create it. Whether spoken in whisper or shout, in private thought or public prayer, every word is a wand. Use it with precision, use it with purpose, use it with praise. Let no careless phrase pass your lips, for the law does not sleep, nor does it forget. Declare desires as present facts, not future hopes. This is the secret to manifestation that most overlook. When you speak of your good as already yours, you step into alignment with the creative power of the universe. There is no creative force in wishing, wanting, or hoping. These are the language of delay. The law does not operate on hope, it operates on conviction. To say, "I will be rich," keeps riches forever on the horizon. But to declare, "I am rich now," even if appearances suggest otherwise, activates the unseen machinery that brings the statement into form. The subconscious mind, which is the builder of your experience, responds to now. It responds to certainty. It is not moved by longing or possibility, it is commanded by declaration. When you say, "I will have success," the subconscious hears, "Not yet," and delays action. When you say, "Success is mine now," the subconscious sets to work immediately, drawing people, ideas, and opportunities to fulfill the claim. Every statement you make in the present tense impresses itself deeper into your belief system, reshaping your patterns of thought, and in turn, your outer world. The truth is, all that you desire already exists in the invisible realm. You are not creating something from nothing. You are aligning with that which already is. The infinite is complete. Every idea, every opportunity, every dollar, every connection you seek is already present on the invisible plane. Your job is not to struggle or to chase. It is to claim. And to claim something, you must speak of it as if it is already yours. I am loved. I am whole. I am wealthy. These statements do not describe your current outer condition. They declare your spiritual truth, and the outer must conform. When you speak in the language of, I will, I hope, I want, you place your desire outside of yourself. You affirm its distance from you. But the law responds only to what you accept as true. It does not deliver what you wish for. It delivers what you believe you already have. That is why faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not wishing. Faith is knowing. Faith says, it is mine now. That knowing, spoken with authority, shifts the entire pattern of your life. To declare your desire as a present fact is not to lie. It is to speak the higher truth. The higher truth is not found in appearances, but in spiritual reality. You may not yet see the evidence of your wealth, but in truth the wealth is already yours. You have access to it now. The moment you accept it as a present fact, the channels of supply open. The law does not require time to deliver. It only requires belief. Time is only needed for the rearrangement of outer conditions. The inner shift happens the moment you declare your good as now. This is why so many remain stuck in cycles of hoping and waiting. They believe their good lies in the future, and so it does. The law is perfectly obedient. Whatever you declare becomes law for you. Say, it will come, and it will always be coming. Say, it is here, and it begins to show up. Not because your words are magic spells, but because they activate a deeper law of assumption. What you assume to be true becomes your reality. It is not about repeating empty affirmations. It is about inhabiting the feeling of your desire fulfilled and speaking from that place. If you truly believed your success was here now, how would you speak? How would you walk? How would you act? When you begin to live from that version of yourself, reality bends to meet you. You must become the person who already has what you desire. That becoming begins with the spoken word. Speech is the bridge between inner belief and outer manifestation. When you speak your desire as present, you reinforce your faith. Each time you say, I am, instead of, I will be, you rewire your mind to expect your good. You train your consciousness to accept the invisible as real. This is the great work of manifestation, to see with the eye of spirit, to feel with the heart of knowing, and to speak with the voice of command. The universe cannot deny what you claim with conviction. It responds with absolute precision to the vibration of your word. But the vibration must be consistent. You cannot declare wealth one moment and speak of lack the next. You must persist in your assumption. You must treat your desire as real, even when evidence has not yet caught up. This is not pretending. It is creating. Pretending is hoping. Creating is knowing. Let your words match your vision. Let your declarations affirm your divine right to all good. Say, I am abundant in every way. Say, I am aligned with divine opportunity. Say, I am already living in my answered prayer. These statements draw the invisible into visibility. They plant the seed of belief, which the subconscious then nourishes into manifestation. Every word you speak builds a new pattern in your consciousness. Speak enough truth, and the truth will become your experience. It does not matter how things appear. The law does not work by sight, it works by spirit. Declare your health when your body feels weak. Declare your success when your efforts seem to fail. Declare your love when you feel alone. Because your word, spoken in the present tense, overrides temporary facts with eternal truth. Truth is not found in the world of effects, it is found in the realm of cause. And the cause is your word. To live in truth is to declare your divine identity in every moment. You are not poor trying to become rich. You are not broken trying to be healed. You are not lost trying to be found. You are whole now. You are wealthy now. You are chosen now. Speak from this identity. Claim it, own it. Let your word be law. Let your mouth be a channel for divine creation. Let your voice shape the world you were born to live in. Do not wait for proof. Speak your good into being, the proof will follow. But it cannot precede the declaration. You must go first. You must decide. You must stand in faith. Say, this is who I am. This is what I have. This is what I live. Let your word be final. Let your word be fearless. Let your word reflect the truth that your good is not coming. It is already here. Ignore appearances and trust divine supply. Appearances are the shadow realm. They reflect only what has been created by past thought, past word, past belief. They are not the source of reality, but the echo. What you see with the natural eye is merely the outcome of yesterday's consciousness. To base your belief on appearances is to anchor yourself in delay, fear, and limitation. But when you turn your attention away from the seen and place your trust in divine supply, you begin to operate by spiritual law, not by material evidence. Divine supply is infinite, invisible, and unchanging. It is never depleted, never delayed, and never disturbed. It exists here and now in perfect fullness, awaiting your recognition and claim. Everything you desire already exists in the unseen realm, in the storehouse of the infinite. There is no lack in spirit. There is no shortage in the kingdom. But to access this supply, you must look beyond the temporary illusion of lack and affirm the reality of your abundance. This is the path of mastery, to walk through the valley of seeming nothing and declare, all is mine now. The great mistake is to judge by appearances, to look at an empty bank account and say, I am broke. To look at a quiet phone and say, I am forgotten. To see rejection and say, I am unworthy. These statements are not truths. They are conclusions drawn from illusion. Appearances may show you a temporary condition, but they cannot tell you who you are or what is possible. You are not limited by what your eyes see. You are limited only by what your mind believes. And your mind can be renewed at any moment by shifting your focus from form to source. Divine supply is not found in your paycheck, your clients, your business, or your family. These are channels, not sources. Channels may open or close, but source is eternal. The moment you confuse the channel for the source, you become fearful, reactive, and dependent. But when you anchor yourself in the knowing that divine supply operates through infinite channels, you release all attachment and fear. You trust that if one door closes, another opens. If one avenue is blocked, a greater way is revealed. You are never without supply, only without recognition. Faith is the substance that bridges the invisible to the visible. It is not a passive hope, but an active trust in divine intelligence. Faith says, I do not need to see it to know it is here. Faith declares abundance when appearances scream lack. Faith acts as if the supply is already in hand. This is not denial, it is spiritual accuracy. The senses may inform you of temporary facts, but only spirit reveals the eternal truth. And the eternal truth is this: God is your source, and God is unfailing. Many delay their good because they wait for appearances to improve before they believe. But this is the reverse of how the law works. It is belief that changes appearances, not the other way around. You must first claim abundance in the unseen, and then the seen will rearrange itself. Say, divine supply meets all my needs richly and immediately. Say it when the cupboard is full, and say it when the cupboard is bare. Your word is law, not your condition. Those who are ruled by appearances live in fear, anxiety, and limitation. They are tossed by every change in circumstance. One day they are joyful, the next day discouraged. But those who are rooted in spiritual law live in stability, peace, and certainty. They know that nothing external can touch the truth of their being. They live by inner decree, not outer evidence. And because of this, appearances begin to conform to their word, rather than their word conforming to appearances. Divine supply is not a future promise. It is a present reality. It is not something you earn. It is something you claim. You do not need to beg for it, strive for it, or compete for it. You need only align your consciousness with it. And that alignment begins by turning your back on fear-based appearances and declaring the truth. Say, I walk in the rhythm of abundance. Say, every bill is paid with ease and surplus. Say, the riches of the universe flow to me now. Do not wait for proof. Your word is the proof. You must train your eyes to see beyond the visible. When others speak of recession, you speak of expansion. When others panic, you declare peace. When others cry lack, you affirm overflow. You are not governed by the world, you are governed by the word. And the word declares that your supply is from an infinite source. You are heir to the kingdom. You are backed by spiritual substance. You are supported by a law that never fails. To ignore appearances is not to deny the facts. It is to transcend them. It is to recognize that facts can change, but truth remains. It is to hold fast to the knowing that divine supply is always seeking expression through you. Even in the driest desert, there is water beneath the surface. Even in the darkest night, the sun is waiting to rise. Appearances are the fog before the breakthrough. Hold steady. Speak the truth. Stand firm in the law. Gratitude is the great multiplier of supply. Give thanks for the unseen good as if it were already in your hands. Say, I bless the substance of God in all its forms. Say, I rejoice in the flow of prosperity. Your gratitude lifts your vibration and opens the gate for more. Do not grumble about what appears to be missing. Praise what is coming. Praise makes the invisible visible. Praise turns the seed into the harvest. Praise activates the law. Divine supply flows through faith, through expectation, through joy. It does not flow through worry, doubt, or desperation. Worry signals disbelief in the source. Doubt chokes the pipeline. Desperation repels the very good you seek. But joy signals confidence. Faith attracts the substance. Calm expectation magnetizes the channels. Speak with the tone of assurance, not fear. Declare your abundance as if it is inevitable, because in truth it is. The world will always present evidence of lack. News headlines, bank statements, gossip, delay. But these are only tests of your focus. Will you bow to the false idol of appearance, or will you remain loyal to the truth of supply? The choice is made moment by moment, word by word. Every time you affirm, I am provided for in all ways, you pierce the illusion. Every time you say, my source is limitless, you realign with truth. You are not a beggar at the gate. You are a child of the infinite. You are not scraping for scraps. You are drawing from the abundance of spirit. You are not subject to economic trends. You are governed by spiritual law. Divine supply is your inheritance, your design, your truth. The more you affirm it, the more it flows. The more you praise it, the more it multiplies. The more you ignore appearances, the more you rise above them. Wealth manifests through unwavering faith and affirmation. It is not hustle that unlocks the storehouse of supply, but the steady conviction that what is yours cannot be withheld. Faith is the substance, the inner gold from which all outer gold is formed. Without it, words fall flat, actions scatter, and results remain elusive. But when faith is anchored deep within the soul, it magnetizes wealth from the invisible to the visible, forming it out of the very ethers. True wealth begins as a spiritual condition before it becomes a material result. And that condition is formed and fortified by word spoken in belief. Affirmation is the spoken law of what is spiritually true. It is not wishful thinking or empty repetition. It is the deliberate announcement of divine truth, expressed with confidence and authority. When you affirm, I am wealthy, you are not describing what the eyes see. You are declaring what the spirit knows. You are announcing the unseen reality that exists beyond time and circumstance. You are writing a new script into the subconscious mind and commanding the law to make it manifest. Every true affirmation is a seed. It may not break the soil immediately, but it will sprout, grow, and flourish if nurtured by unwavering faith. Unwavering faith is not shaken by delay. It does not falter in the face of contradiction. It does not argue with bank accounts or invoices. It knows that these are merely outer shadows, echoing past beliefs. Faith walks forward even when the path is hidden. It declares abundance even when appearances suggest otherwise. It holds to the affirmation as a lifeline, knowing that the spoken word is shaping the conditions that will soon appear. This is not blind hope, it is spiritual certainty. And with this certainty, wealth cannot help but follow. Wealth is not something to chase. It is something to claim. When you chase money, you affirm that it is separate from you, distant, withheld. But when you claim wealth through affirmation and hold that claim with faith, you align yourself with the law of supply. The law does not withhold. It responds, it mirrors. If your inner state says, I am rich, the law brings circumstances, people, ideas, and events to match it. But if your inner voice says, I need, I lack, I fear, then the law echoes that too. Faith must be steady, not occasional. Affirmation must be consistent, not conditional. It is not enough to say, I am wealthy, once and then look fearfully at your surroundings. You must stand in that declaration, again and again, until it becomes the foundation of your being. The moment you speak it, the law begins to move. But if you contradict your word with worry, you slow the process. You dig up the seed before it can grow. This is why unwavering faith is essential. It sustains the vibration long enough for wealth to find its way to you. Affirmations are not meant to convince the universe. They are meant to convince you. The universe already agrees with your abundance. Spirit already knows your wealth is true, but your mind may not yet believe it. So you speak the affirmation not to beg, not to wish, but to install a new belief. Every repetition strengthens the new pattern. Every declaration shifts your vibration closer to alignment. And once your inner state matches the wealth you seek, it must appear. The outer is compelled to reflect the inner law you have accepted. Wealth does not come from force, it comes from alignment. And alignment is created by word and faith. When you say, money flows to me with ease, and you believe it, your entire being becomes a magnet for prosperity. Ideas come, resources show up, people are moved on your behalf. You are led to right action. But if you say, I don't know how I'll make ends meet, even in passing, you declare a law that the universe honors. There is no room for casual doubt when calling forth abundance. You must speak only what you desire, and do so with unwavering certainty. Unwavering faith is not loud, it is calm, it is not frantic or forceful, it is still, grounded, and sure. It does not need to see proof, because it knows the proof is forming. It holds the vision, it holds the word, it does not flinch. This is the faith that moves mountains. This is the faith that turns thoughts into gold. When you combine this faith with your spoken word, you become unstoppable. The gates of wealth open because you have met the spiritual requirement belief backed by voice. Every moment you declare wealth, even when there is none in sight, you expand your capacity to receive. Every time you say, I prosper in all I do, even when things appear stagnant, you invite the law to activate. But the invitation must be steady. You cannot invite wealth and then talk about lack. You cannot affirm prosperity and then worry aloud. Faith and affirmation must be in agreement. When they are, your vibration becomes irresistible to the good you seek. The world trains people to wait for evidence. Spiritual law asks you to create the evidence by first believing. The world says, when I see it, I'll believe it. But Spirit says, when you believe it, you will see it. Affirmation is how you speak what you believe. Faith is how you hold to it, regardless of time or appearance. Together, they form the perfect creative formula. And with that formula, wealth cannot be kept from you. The nature of wealth is responsive. It flows where it is welcomed, where it is spoken of with reverence and confidence. It avoids those who resent it, fear it, or doubt its arrival. But to those who affirm it with joy and receive it in thought before it appears in form, it rushes. It responds to the open channel. It responds to the clear declaration. It responds to the vibration of I have, not I need. You must train yourself to speak wealth as your normal. Let it be the language of your life. Say, money is a divine idea, and it flows to me now. Say, everything I touch prospers. Say, I am surrounded by financial increase. These are not fantasies, they are spiritual realities activated by your voice. The more you say them, the more you believe them. The more you believe them, the more the world reflects them. Do not let the outer world silence your word. Let your words silence the outer world. When bills come, bless them and declare, there is always more than enough. When a job ends, say, something greater is on its way. When plans fall through, affirm, I am divinely guided to higher prosperity. You are not reacting to life. You are creating it with your declaration and sustained faith. All that you desire is already here in form or in essence. The difference between those who receive and those who delay is not luck, effort, or education, it is faith in the word. Say it, believe it, stand by it. Let the world catch up to the truth you hold. Let your affirmation go ahead of you and prepare the way. Wealth listens. Wealth obeys. Wealth manifests for those who speak with conviction and believe without wavering. The universe responds to bold, aligned command. It does not respond to hesitation, doubt, or vague requests. It does not move for the one who whispers their good in fear. It does not activate itself for the soul who asks timidly, who hopes cautiously, who waits politely. The law is precise, and it requires precision in return. A bold, clear, spoken word, aligned with the truth of spirit, is the ignition key to manifestation. When you command with certainty, not arrogance but spiritual authority, the entire universe rushes to obey. To command is not to force. It is not to demand from ego or desperation. It is to know the law, to trust the law, and to speak the word as one who understands their rightful place in the divine order. You are not separate from the creative force. You are an extension of it. And because you are one with it, your word, when aligned with higher law, becomes a decree. This is the true meaning of dominion, not control over others, but authority over your own world, your own conditions, your own atmosphere. You do not beg for what is yours by divine inheritance. You claim it. A bold command is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is quiet, clear, and unwavering. It comes from a deep place of knowing. When you declare, "This is mine now," you are not trying to convince anyone. You are affirming what is already true in spirit. The invisible realm is already holding your good. Your command does not create it, but calls it forth. The clarity of your word determines the speed of its arrival. The more aligned your command is with spiritual truth, the more swiftly the universe responds. Alignment is essential. A command that comes from fear, from grasping, from lack, carries no power. It is muddied, confused, contradictory. But a command that arises from alignment with divine truth, that you are one with infinite supply, one with perfect health, one with divine love, carries the full force of spiritual authority. It is not born from ego, it is born from oneness. You are not commanding to dominate life. You are commanding to cooperate with it, to allow it to flow as it was always meant to through you. There is no creative power in begging. The universe does not respond to pleading, it responds to conviction. It responds to law. It responds to the soul who knows that the spoken word, infused with belief and aligned with truth, must manifest. This is why you must speak your word as if it cannot fail. I am now receiving all that is mine by divine right time. The perfect opportunity presents itself now. My income increases constantly and effortlessly. These are not hopes, they are laws spoken into form. The law is always listening, always responding. It is impersonal and exact. It does not judge the content of your command. It only fulfills it. If you say, "Everything is falling apart," the law agrees. If you say, "Everything is working in my favor," the law agrees. If you speak chaos, you create chaos. If you speak order, abundance, and peace, you create the conditions for those qualities to manifest. You are the legislator of your experience. Every word you speak becomes instruction. The boldness of your command reflects the boldness of your belief. If you hesitate when speaking your word, if you second-guess your desire, If you qualify your affirmations with if or maybe, you dilute your power. The universe cannot respond to an unclear instruction. But when you say, I am healthy, I am whole, I am thriving, and you say it with the energy of conviction, the law begins moving immediately to align your outer life with that inner truth. The key is to command from identity. You are not someone trying to become wealthy. You are wealth expressing itself. You are not someone chasing success. You are success embodied. You are not someone begging for healing. You are health incarnate. Speak from the identity of I am, not I hope to be. Your identity is the source of your command. When you say, I am, you activate the highest spiritual law. What follows those words becomes a decree. The universe does not question it, it mirrors it. There is no virtue in shrinking, in minimizing your desires, in softening your speech to make others comfortable. The universe honors the bold, the clear, the faithful. Your boldness does not offend. It signals readiness. It signals trust. It signals that you are no longer negotiating with life, but creating with it. Boldness is not aggressiveness. It is confidence in divine law. When you are bold in your declarations, you are saying, I know who I am and what I'm entitled to as a child of the infinite. Practice your bold command daily. Do not wait until crisis forces you to act. Speak your word every morning as law. This is a day of miracles. Everything I touch prospers. I am divinely guided and abundantly supplied. Speak these truths not as hopes, but as statements of reality. Let your voice carry the tone of certainty. Let your energy say, it is already done. The spoken word, when issued from this place, alters the atmosphere. It breaks stagnation. It rearranges matter. It creates new pathways and dissolves old blocks. Your environment is a mirror of your command. If you do not like what you see, do not argue with the picture. Change the word that painted it. The universe does not care how long a pattern has existed. It responds in the now. One bold command, spoken from faith, can reverse years of limitation. But it must be spoken as law, not suggestion. You are not hoping the universe will cooperate. You are cooperating with a law that is already operating. This is why prayer, when done correctly, is not pleading but commanding. True spiritual prayer is not, please, may I have. It is, thank you. It is done. It is declaration. It is law. The word is spoken in the invisible, and the form follows in the visible. Do not ask, declare. Do not beg, claim. Do not wait, command. This is your power. This is your privilege. The universe is already prepared to respond. It only waits for your clear instruction. Repetition strengthens your word. The more you speak it, the more real it becomes. The more real it becomes, the more your belief anchors it into form. You do not repeat to convince God. You repeat to convince yourself. You repeat until your inner atmosphere changes, until your vibration shifts, until your subconscious accepts the new law. Then, without effort, without strain, your outer life reflects the new order. It becomes inevitable. Do not dilute your word to fit appearances. Appearances are temporary. The word is eternal. When you command wealth, joy, love, or healing, you are not ignoring facts. You are overriding them with truth. Speak what you desire, not what you fear. Declare what you want, not what you lack. Let your words be strong, simple, and clear. I am ready. I am worthy. I am already living my good. The universe responds not to your wish, but to your word. Not to your hesitation, but to your decision. Not to your desperation, but to your alignment with truth. Boldness signals to the law that you are no longer wavering. You have decided, you have claimed, you have spoken. And now the universe must obey. Not by favoritism, but by law. Not by chance, but by design. The power has never left you. It has only waited for you to rise and use it. When your command is bold and aligned, creation cannot help but follow.